And we're live. Welcome back, everybody.
Good evening, Mega City. What's blowing up in your part of the city? Tonight
Hey,
on the Brockton Bay Book Club, we have our lovely hosts here. Myself, Alan, Hannah,
Hello. Mwah.
Jacob,
Hello.
Nick,
Hello there.
and certainly last but not least, our producer, Michael.
certainly last. And certainly not
Definitely not last. No.
least.
I mean, no, he literally answered last.
I sure did.
Literally last.
Literally.
Certainly not least.
Good evening. Welcome to the Brockton Bay Book Club. As always, we are reading through Wild Bow's Ward, going arc by arc, and we'll be going through chapter by chapter. This week, we are covering Arc 6. As usual, things that we get through, no spoilers in chat. We do play bingo for the podcast, which you can find in the YouTube description. And as always, if you want to contribute to the bingo or memes or anything else talked about in the off times, please consider joining our Patreon, which I know a lot of you have. Last week, on our off week, we played worm-themed Quiplash.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
So that
fun.
was
Yes, we did.
that was pretty
It was
fun.
a lot of fun.
That was something.
With
was.
questions submitted,
Was
and
something.
as a Patreon member, you can relive that glory-filled time. Because we do
I
have
don't know
that
if it was
saved.
glory filled. I think that's going a little far.
Glory hole filled.
I was gonna say
No.
that's what I was implying. It was implied. A lot of things were getting filled on that.
Filled glory,
It was
That was
certainly
a
time.
like
a great
It was a
time.
like a Boston cream donut.
It's my favorite kind of donut, is the glory-filled donut.
Now's my
Oh, yeah.
perfect time to apologize for everything we say, and also to
Yep.
welcome
Please
future
be advised,
listeners.
This podcast is for adult listeners, not meant for children.
And this
Hello,
is, of course,
future-
my time to say that we ignore what Michael said. I apologize for nothing.
Clearly ignoring me.
no.
Yes. Hello,
Michael,
future
please
listeners,
continue.
also, because this is also still a podcast you can listen to after the fact, after the live. So, hello, for those of you who consume us that way.
Thank you for listening.
We're so glad
Yeah.
you consume us.
That's how you want to phrase that?
Sorry, look, Michael said it first. I'm
That's-
only
That's
look,
by
Michael's
far
the producer.
not
I
the word.
follow his
Yeah,
lead.
you know,
Yeah, no, it's not the
we've
worst
already
thing.
said worse things today. So,
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
Could you imagine?
It's like that. What's the quote from Alice in Wonderland? Is it Alice in Wonderland? Except it's like, I say 6 worse things before I get up out of bed.
It's before
Mhm.
breakfast, but
Yeah.
See, now I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining a donut shop with like bad superhero themed things, and it's like, get your
Oh no.
basket of glory holes.
yeah.
little like golden
No.
donut balls.
No.
it's just the peace among worlds from Rick and Morty, where he's like taught him the wrong thing, but it's like
Yeah,
flipping them off
exactly.
and
just
saying
all
it's a peace
donuts.
sign.
Anyways,
As part of
I'd
our
like-
warm up,
like
what
to
would be
apologize.
your like other like cape themed donut?
Cape themed
Yeah.
donuts.
Yeah.
I hate when you ask these because it puts
I
me
think
on the spot.
we'd have the Alexandria, right, which looks like a normal chocolate cream donut, but on the inside it's filled with like gummy bugs and worms.
Ooh.
Oh,
I was
that's good.
thinking
Smart.
along
Good.
those
I thought you were
lines.
gonna say like filled with like it's actually
No.
an icing coated like steel block.
Oh yeah.
You just chomp it and you just break all your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm thinking what I like to call the second trigger, which is a flayed open jelly filled donut.
No.
Like
I
you
would
cut open the
eat
top and
so many of those.
blood eagle.
Mine's
I would eat
mine's just a simple
Also known as
like
the Gru.
The Gru.
mine's just
No.
a simple gold leaf, gold morning,
Ooh.
but it's like shiny,
Oh,
goldly,
yeah.
edible
Yep.
gold.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Or like the
Mm.
Scion
But
or
then you bite
something like
into
that.
it.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
get transported to another universe.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good. That's
I'm
good.
imagining the Sveta is so it's a squid ink filled donut, but it
Mm.
harkens back to her old name because it's filled with so much squid ink it chokes you. So-
Mm.
You're just choking on squid ink. And
See,
it's
I'm
just coming
thinking-
out. Oh,
yeah.
I'm thinking like a St. Patty's Day themed green food coloring donut, but
Mhm.
with like lemon inside, and it's the you needed worthy of donuts, and it's
That's it. That's it.
That's the end.
That's
I-
fantastic.
I feel real stupid. I'm gonna need you to say it again or repeat it or explain it.
the explanation. It is a bit of a
It's
stretch.
Yellow
It's a
lemon
Yeah.
filling. And it's
So
called what?
the you needed worthy of donuts
Needed worthy
instead of
donuts.
opponents.
Is this
Instead of
instead of
Instead
opponents.
you
of
needed
opponents.
worthy opponents.
It's
It's what
Eidolon
Scion
getting
said
blasted
to
by
Eidolon.
Scions.
Eidolon
Oh,
getting
I was like,
blasted
what
by
is the
Scion.
green and the yellow? I don't understand. Yeah, okay, look.
Yeah, no, it was a
Would-
stretch. It was a stretch.
Yeah.
Would you guys
I
wear
remember
merch of
their
these
colors.
donuts? Like a shirt for each of them?
Oh my
'Cause
gosh! What
I
if we
kinda
got
would.
like the Undersiders'
Michael,
donut?
I don't think that we
No
should wear shirts with
description,
a
just-
glory hole on it. I'm just gonna.
Absolutely not. That's a terrible
But we
idea.
can-
Hold on, hold on.
No.
back up.
Someone will.
We need to go back to Michael's donut thing. Okay, it's donuts, but they're the Undersider donuts, like all
Oh my
stood up in a
God.
row.
It'd be awesome.
No explanation.
No
It's like-
explanation.
Just
like-
they look.
that-
They're
that-
like
I think I
colored.
could. I feel like I could
themed.
draw that. I feel like I could. I could do
I
something
would
with
wear
that.
that.
idea.
I have
Nick, if
somebody
you
else I can
draw
put on it,
I'll
and
put
if
it
you
on a
don't,
t-shirt.
Yeah. No, you could put it on somebody else. I don't know if I have time, but I could see
Yeah.
that working. Like I can
I might-
visually imagine it in my head.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
commission this from somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right.
gosh.
Anyways, back to
Speaking of
Arctics,
merch,
maybe.
real quick.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ellen and I are both sporting merch, but you can't buy his. You can only buy mine. Alan's was a special make. But you can buy the Brockton Bay Book
Woo.
Club t-shirts.
Woo.
If you'd like. We also have the Brockton Bay's sweatshirt, which no one is sporting today, but that's okay. We've sported them in other episodes.
I'll be honest. I'm upset that we did not have a Brockton Gaze special for last month.
We
I
should have had
really
one.
feel like we blew past that.
Brockton Gay.
Oh
I
yes,
know, right?
Michael. Michael sporting
Shout
the
out-
sweatshirt. I
shout
love
out
that you had it
legend foil
within
Parian.
arm's reach.
Hey.
Yes, our Brockton Bay's sweatshirt, kind of
That is
neon-y,
techie
very painty,
sweatshirt.
very fun.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future we'll have Undersider donut shirts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
I
that'd
did
be a good
think
one.
I did think of a new thing, a WWMYD bracelet. What would Miss Yamada do?
Nice.
Ooh.
That's actually sick.
Ooh. Yeah,
I
you
think
could.
we all need that after
I
this.
need that
arc.
or just or
We'll get-
pins.
Pins,
both.
yeah,
Both. Yeah.
pins,
Both.
bracelets.
That's good.
Put it on a
to
sticker.
call out a couple of comments from chat. Fran apparently says that the donut thing may be a real thing in DC's story Kingdom Come, which I'm not aware of, but I
Alright.
don't know that well enough.
That's-
That's funny. Great minds, right? We're basically DC. And then Bernard asked, after this arc, which members of the therapy group has the code names already? Currently, the only ones that have been settled on, Ashley is still Damsel. They mentioned Swan Song as an idea, but she hasn't settled on it. We have
not
Kinsey as
quickly.
Looksy. And
Capricorn.
we have Capricorn, of course. And we have Kinsey called Chris Creepy Kid.
Yeah.
Which I believe that is it's not official, but like it's probably gonna stick is kind of how it felt.
I did like that.
Yeah, I like Creepy Kid.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
And Rain is Rain.
know.
That's still.
Rain is Rain,
He
still
is
Rain.
I mean,
Victoria
he
is
has
still
a cool
Victoria.
name.
He does have a cool name.
All right. Well, I think we've done enough riffing for now. We're all warmed up and ready to go. So let's dive into it. Went through Arc 6, sort of rounding out the dealing with the cult. They're escaping my head right now.
The
Much
Fallen.
like they
Fallen.
escaped into the
The
city.
Fallen?
The Fallen. There we go.
The
It's been a
Fallen.
long day for everyone.
It's been I've been really cooked today. All right.
You
Yeah.
look.
I'm trying to hold it together.
It's all right.
Nick.
We
You're
all are.
doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, initial impressions of the
6.1.
arc first before we do
Yes,
6.1.
you're right.
Overall impressions.
Yeah.
If we want, they can be brief. I appreciate that stuff is still happening. That
Yes.
is what I appreciate about this. Is
Yeah.
it feels like stuff is happening. Some of the fighting kind of bleeds together. However, I think the character moments that occur within that fighting are significant enough that I appreciate them. So,
Yes.
I think this is pretty well paced overall to keep you interested, but not so fast you lose sight of like little details because they take time
Yeah.
to pause and talk and plan. So I appreciate that.
I feel like we covered a lot in this arc, even though, like, it didn't feel like a lot. It didn't feel like I was drinking out of a water hose, but it still we covered a lot of ground. You know, we wrapped up the Mathers fight. We moved to headquarters, or I guess not headquarters, but we talked to some of the big names, and then like we're traveling across the city, and then we're over at the train station. Like, we're moving a lot this arc, but like you said, Nick, I don't feel like it like blurred too much because of the character interactions and like these key character moments of like conversations that happen. Like Big V, Little V, loved that. Like just these different dynamics that are happening within each of the characters' interactions are just really fun. It keeps the pace up,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it. I like what you guys are saying about kind of carrying the action and the story. Kind of finally feels like we're really getting into the major story beats here. My one gripe with this arc, if this wasn't the most anime ass chapter endings every damn chapter was, and now it's time to get some answers. Next chapter.
Mic
I
drop.
think it's time for someone to give us some answers. Next chapter. Don't tell me, tell Rain. He needs some answers. And it's just like every time, and then we get to the end of the chapter, and I couldn't help but think, I still don't really know what's going on. So, yes,
I still don't have the answers.
I keep going back to that scene in early One Piece where there's like 15 episodes of the two groups facing down on each other on the top of the hill. And it's like 8 episodes of them yelling back and forth, not attacking yet. And it felt a little bit like that at times where I'm like,
It has some of those vibes.
give us a minute. We're ready. We're ready now.
Yeah, any day
But
now.
overall, I'm hyped for what's to come. It was a good building arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with
6.1?
the fighting
Any
thing.
other thoughts? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the fighting thing, it's my biggest complaint is that a lot of this, while there is like enjoyable fights to be had, and this is a holdover from Worm as well. The sequences just kind of blur together for me. Like the location, I always go back to like, oh, he got shot on a beach. Like, didn't even know that. Like, I was just,
Yeah.
everything just kind of blurs geographically and power wise. Like action is happening, and until something really stands out to you, it really is just a soup of words. And then
Yeah.
you're like,
Mm.
now they're talking, so things are important. And it's like the equivalent of reading somebody looking at their phone while watching a movie. Like,
Mm.
looking up, nothing's important happening. Oh, action sequence, like, or something. They're talking. I need to listen, and then back to your phone. Like that's what it feels like reading this to me.
Sometimes, yeah.
But
I get that. Yeah,
other than that,
your mind
like,
can kind of slip into a haze as you're like reading, like fighting, blood. Oh wait, that was important.
yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
too much
Oh.
blood.
Blood, broken
I doubled
fingers.
back.
Oh.
I had to
Yeah.
double back a few times where you read something and your mind starts to wander, and then you read the one line, you're like, wait a minute, that was important. Let me go
Yeah.
back up a few paragraphs,
Yeah.
start over.
Yeah.
Just that
Yeah.
happened a few times.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there was a one fun comment Bernard said, the answer might be a parahuman. And it triggered a thought in me. Isn't there a superhero in Marvel or DC named The Question?
The question
yeah.
is from DC,
From
and
DC.
if you remember,
DC.
the answer was my original Weaver Dice character.
Oh, is that the name of your character? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Fran says, I kind of imagine they're in a Wild West desert town every time there's a fight outside the city. And I'm like, yeah.
Tumbleweeds just
I
rolling
actually-
by.
I will say the Fallen, I'm imagining
Yeah.
that, but with a lot more mud. Like,
Yes.
it's not a
Yep.
dry Western town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Western town after a rainstorm, right? Just mud everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
it's
just-
like
I
in
think
the
of it as-
forest, you know.
Yeah, well, I
but-
think of it as
Oh,
like
right, there
West
are trees.
Virginia. Like Alan and I used to work at this summer camp in the mountains of West
yes.
Virginia, and it was like mountains and hills and like dirt
Yeah.
paths and like an occasional pond, and also when it rained, everything was just mud.
Yeah.
And that's
To your-
kind of how I imagined it.
And to your point, Alan, though, with that like geographical space not really mattering, everything feels flat until Victoria hits a conveniently placed tree to throw somebody into. It's like, oh, there was a tree there. Nowhere else, just that one.
Yeah.
I just assume that they're in a field until she's like, "Ah,
Yeah.
yes, the ditch," and you're like, "Oh, the ditch is so
Oh,
deep.
The field with
They
a
have
ditch
to
on it.
have 2 stretchers across the ditch so people can go across." Like, okay, it's a
Yeah.
trench actually, and a
Yeah.
very dirt road, I guess, muddy road.
Country
Mhm.
roads, take me home
Take me home.
to the
to
place
place.
I belong.
Don't get us copyrighted.
Fallen colony, Mama Mathers,
Oh man.
take me home.
Okay, let's get into
Got
it because
no
I got
choice.
some thoughts
All right,
that I need to
6.1.
talk.
6.1. The Fallen fight continues. This is immediately after Rain kills Snag in 5.
Mhm.
Fallen fight continues, playing some Sare whack-a-mole. Imp and Victoria work together to take out the Thinker asset Arima. March leaves. Victoria gets a bullet wound. Friends catch up, but Mama wakes up.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, fun
Yeah,
continuation.
is it Sare? Seer?
That's what I was
Sayer.
Seer.
I've been saying seer.
Seer? Yeah, I don't
Chat,
know.
correct us.
I don't
I
know. Yeah,
believe-
someone
I-
tell
yeah.
us what it is.
I feel
I've
like
been
it's
saying
the-
Sare.
Yeah.
It's
I know it's
a year.
the Assyrian, like, if I remember right, like mob of Assyrian horsemen, essentially. If I remember
The
right.
R is what it might be
The
in Hebrew.
R.
I was about to say if it's a
And-
if it's
Okay. You know what? And I'll follow up on this. He ain't pronouncing that shit.
it's
correctly.
pronounced seer.
Yeah.
Not for
It's
his name.
pronounced Sare.
Sare.
My name
Like,
is Sare. I'm a
Yeah,
member
is
of the
he
Fallen.
here or is he Sayer? You know, that's what I'm
Sayer.
saying.
That's what I'm siren.
Sorry.
That's what I'm sure.
Sorry. Sir. Sir.
Sire.
It's just Sir.
Anyways,
It's just Mr. Sir from Holes.
Mr. Sir.
Anyway.
Mr. Sir.
Yep. He has a neat power. I always hate when these cool powers are tied to just the worst people you know.
Why? Why are just the worst people have the coolest
Fans of the first podcast will know what I mean
powers?
by that.
Well, Nick, that's because we know who your favorite cape is. Like we know.
Favorite power, not favorite cape.
Sure.
Tell us why
Well.
you love this one, Nick.
Coil.
Yeah, tell us about this one.
So no, this one. I mean, it's just a cool power. The
Explain
ability you make. It's okay. So it's for my anime fans, it's Naruto's shadow clone jutsu, except he can replace himself with any of his shadow clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
sick.
You can swap
Yeah,
out.
and it's
Honestly, just better
super
Oni and
cool.
Oni Lee. You're right.
it is kind of better only.
Oh, it kind of is. though.
Is it the? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it in this chapter or the chapter before where we have the person who has to like switch? Was that in the arc before, or is in that this
Oh,
one?
no, that's
Do we
that's
have
this
to
one.
switch?
Okay. Okay.
I think that's coming up. If I
Okay. You know what I'm talking about. So
I think
we'll
so,
get
yeah.
to that.
I
But it is crazy that there are a
Oh
bunch
yes,
of
yes. I
powers
know what
like
you mean.
that. His is kind of also like Spree, except his clones don't get dumb.
Yeah.
And Oni Lee is also
Yeah.
the one where he just gets dumber every time.
Yeah,
he's
he
thrown.
just gets
Yeah.
stupider, unfortunately. Poor guy.
Leaves a piece of himself behind.
Oh
Mm.
man.
Yeah. No, that's the power is really cool. Very annoying, of course, and combined it with Arima, this thinker asset who's giving him these enhanced senses and danger sense.
Right. That was
so he's
cool.
even more capable than normal.
Yeah.
So it may not be totally him doing it. I'll give Arima some credit for actually making it functional. He might
Yeah.
be a total dumbass. I don't.
Probably.
Well, I mean, I like them anytime you have two powers like that can work together and that can like play off each other is cool to see. I mean, I'd much prefer it to be on the hero side than the fallen side, but I like that. Anytime you have like two powers that can make each other better is really fun. Like freaking assault and battery. Like assault and battery
Yeah.
working together was super cool.
Mhm.
And I like that. It's fun and creative.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Capricorn and
Um,
Capricorn.
Like Capricorn and Capricorn.
Exactly.
Exactly. My favorite cape on the team.
Yeah. Or like Imp and Victoria working together without
That was
Victoria knowing.
fun.
Yeah.
That was
So-
fun. I will say, anytime Imp jumps out and people are like, oh, it warms the cockles of my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just makes me happy.
That's
Anytime
great.
we get to work with the Undersiders, I'm a happy little ducky. Like, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
bring
Although
them
it's,
back.
it's another point in the Imp is secretly the strongest cape in the universe column, though.
Yeah.
Every time she pops up, I'm just like, she's stronger than she could kill anybody, anybody
Yeah.
she wants. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure. Although,
Intense.
didn't we see did we see Ser when Arima gave him her power? Did we see that he could see her? I can't remember if she was in that fight at all. Or did she only pop up after they take out Arima?
I think
I
it was
don't
after they
remember
take
now.
out
It
Arima
was just taking out
because
Arima. Okay.
because
'Cause I was wondering if the
Victoria-
danger sense would apply to any of that. Because she did say,
There-
like,
Yeah.
thanks for distracting her. Like,
There's
I
also
needed that help.
somebody's power sees through hers, and I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
She does remark
not-
that there's
not
a
perfect.
power that sees through her, invisibility
Yeah,
for all
right.
intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she's in the car and Victoria
Yes.
crunches through the
Yes.
roof.
Yeah, Victoria breaks the roof off and then Imp tases
Love
her,
it.
if I remember
I
right.
love it so much. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, good teamwork. Victoria does get shot. That's rough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of sucks.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look, the wretch is doing her job. She's
The wretch
got
is
a lot
retching.
going
Time.
on. The wretch is retching. And sometimes a bullet sneaks through and lodges in your shoulder, arm.
I was gonna
Or
go
arm.
appendix.
It's like
You say appendix? No, it's in her arm.
Just
'cause
felt
every
like
time
one of
she
those
like one of
moves
her
for the
arms.
rest
It's
of
in
the
like
arc.
it's in like
It's,
her
like,
bicep.
painful.
Yeah, it's in one of her biceps, I think.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it
which
messes up with her
sounds
whole, like even when she's
Sounds like
Well,
the
sorry.
worst place to get it. No, I was just saying, it sounds like one of the
Yeah.
worst. I mean,
Just
getting shot anywhere.
inconvenient.
Let's be honest.
Yeah,
That's
no.
not great.
I do really like the way that she describes it though, because she talks about it like it's for a second she says, I feel like I'd gotten hit by a black hole or something. Like everything felt like it was sucking in, and then the pain hit and she realized, oh, I've just been shot. But like that moment of like, what does a gunshot wound feel like? Of like that like burning sensation first before the pain hits you, of like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And then you look down, it's like,
Yeah.
yes, I've been
Fran
shot by the stupid guns.
Yeah, Fran in chat, I had the exact same thought. I was like, man, if only they had somebody who could make them really nice bullet-resistant spider silk suits. You know?
She's gone.
Only. Yeah, she's gone.
She's gone.
Seriously though, like Weaver as a costume designer, like a freelance
God,
costume
for real, though.
designer, that
Right.
also would have been a great
She
story.
made so much bank.
Yeah, 2
You
plus
know.
4, you're right. In chat. To be fair, I'd rather be shot in the arm than in the torso. That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
yeah.
Immediately I'm like, okay, take back what I said. Getting shot anywhere else probably would be worse than the
I don't
arm.
want to get shot.
But
Right.
anything with a ball joint, I feel like it's just a bad time for everybody. It's like in the knee,
Yeah.
in the shoulder socket, like Any
the
joint
knee
is
would be
gonna be the
awful.
worst.
The knee would be yeah. Anyways, meditations on getting shot by people who've never been shot before. Continuing
Right.
later.
We're all like, yes, you know.
I was
Yes,
thinking
I
that.
remember. See, I got shot with an airsoft gun once, and it hurt really badly.
I got shot by a paintball gun on my stomach.
I've been shot by a paintball gun too. Yeah,
Man.
got shot. Where did I get shot? I got shot in the head with a paintball gun. That wasn't fun.
In the head? Where was your helmet, Nick?
I
This
had
is why we
goggles
wear
on. I didn't have a helmet
protective
on.
armor when we fight the
What?
fallen.
You just had
You only
goggles
had
on for
goggles?
paintball?
What
think
kind of?
so.
Who
Did I?
only
Wild.
paintballs and goggles?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I almost doxed
No,
you and
it was
made
just
fun of
one
your
spell.
state, but man, that's hilarious.
Nah, it's all right.
It's
Alright.
okay.
Wait,
They
how
can
long
guess
ago
which one of
was
the
this,
I
inbred
went.
ones.
I went playing
Like,
paintball
did
with
this
rednecks.
cause
What?
brain damage?
No,
Is
it was
this-
a really
wait.
long shot.
It made all
It
his
was
hair
it was
fall
a
off.
really long
You're
shot.
All
such
his
a
hair
fan
fell
of
off.
Empire 88?
Whoa,
Yeah.
I'm not. Hang on. Listen.
Wow.
Sorry, no,
This
sorry.
I will not stand for this slander. In
I'm
Also,
sorry,
you
you're
weren't
right,
gonna
you're
go
right.
for the eating the paint off the paintballs?
Yeah.
Nobody? Okay.
Wait, what? Moving on.
2
Moving
plus
on.
4
6.2?
said that one time they got stung by a Portuguese man o' war jellyfish. I'm
I've
glad you're alive,
heard
2 plus 4.
that
Whoa.
those
I've heard that's
are
awful.
the worst.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I've heard like worst pain
I'm glad-
imaginable.
Glad you're still with us.
Although
Yeah.
I will say,
Dang.
what I've as somebody I knew that did a lot of diving and has got hit by a lot of those types of stuff, and has been shot. Getting hit with a stingray, they said, was the worst pain that they'd ever felt in their life. Didn't
No.
even
That
compare
sucks.
to a bullet wound.
This is why I don't go in the ocean.
Yeah. There's no need. I'm fine.
Look,
fair.
that
Nothing
I
happens.
can't.
Good
There's a
happens there, I'm
reason
saying.
that I can't breathe underwater. I was
Yeah.
never meant to go in it, so I look at it from a distance and I go, "I respect you, ocean."
That's
Nice.
Cool
pretty
pictures
neat.
on my phone.
Now,
Yeah.
Pretty
Hannah,
neat.
I did always wonder. I was like, I suspect one of my friends might be a mermaid. It could be Hannah, but I'm just not sure. So thank you for
Here's the
confirming that you
thing.
can't
I'm
breathe
one of
underwater.
those like mermaids that only is a chlorine.
You're a land, more of
mermaid?
a land maid, you might say.
Yeah.
I'm a
A landlocked
a
mermaid.
land maid. Yes, I'm a land maid. No, chlorine is my water of choice. Thank you very much.
Mm.
That, or I'd like to
Cheer
think it's a 13 situation where you had that opportunity to embrace your mother's, like your true mother's heritage, but because you didn't get in the water, you end up getting stuck in your human form for the rest of your life.
Okay. Well, yeah. A reverse aerial.
Sure.
Yeah. We've
Yeah.
all seen
Yeah.
13. Come on.
Nope.
No.
One of the
I
best
just
mermaid
No.
teen movies of all time.
Never seen it.
You
There you
know,
go.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
I just looked
Anyways.
up that apparently there's a pain scale. It's called the Schmidt Sting Pain Index,
Ooh.
and the only
Poor
thing,
Schmidt.
one of the only things worse is a bullet ant than a
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
You
Well,
mean
I have heard
you
of
mean
bullet ants.
Taylor Hebert's favorite bug?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
second,
Yeah.
second favorite
I've
bug.
got to
Jeez.
imagine that, and
It's
then
worse
there's
than the
that
jellyfish,
one
apparently.
plant. There's that one plant in Australia that makes you want to
course.
kill yourself.
I'm not looking at a full list. I just wanted to know specifically bullet ant versus the man of war jellyfish.
Jeez.
And apparently it's
Mm.
worse than the jellyfish. But we have to read the
8
comment.
years old.
Somebody
Ooh.
read the comment that he just wrote.
2
Nick.
plus 4. That sting burned with the flames of 18 hells. It was the #1 most painful thing I've ever experienced. It
Yeah.
was on the beach. I was poking it with a stick, and I was 8 years old.
You were 8 years
Oh.
old.
And
You
that's
were
why
a
we
baby.
won't
thing to
poke
go
things
through
with
as an
sticks.
8-year-old.
Got like murdered by a
Listen.
sea jelly.
Oh, no.
Quick.
You went onto that beach a child. You came out of that beach an adult.
Yeah.
Nearly dead.
Oof.
A war
Having
hero.
suffered.
Jeez Louise.
Oof, that is rough.
No.
A quick
That's
story
rough.
with Michael time. My dad spent a significant part of his life in the Amazon jungles and was out camping with his friends as a kid and accidentally set up camp in a bullet ant nest.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
wow.
Nope. Nope.
Shoot.
Nope. 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 Nope.
And
Nope.
he got stung like at least a dozen times before he knew what was happening.
No.
And he immediately got a fever. And
Yep.
Cool.
they're camping very far from home, so he had to walk home with the fever,
Oh no.
crying, and just like almost it was the worst thing he's ever happened to him apparently.
Because
So
the
It's
fever
like the
is your
equivalent of,
body
like, your
telling
dad
you
getting
to
shot
die.
12 times.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's like not
Holy
gonna kill you, but holy
shit.
crap, he said it was the most painful thing. He was with he was like the youngest person in the group of older like
Cool.
boys, and they're all like, "It's okay to cry, man," and he's like, "Thanks," and then he started crying. Because
He
you can't.
wait.
He was trying to
Okay,
like
so
he was trying to like
got
muscle it
bit
up. He's like
by
"Ugh."
12 bullet ants and didn't cry. I would
Social
have just
pressure.
passed out. I would have been like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they were like,
dang.
"It's okay to cry,
That-
man," and then he's like,
No,
"Thanks."
Yeah, how old was
Oof.
he?
I don't know, but he was I think middle school maybe, but yeah.
That's awful.
Middle school? Oh my gosh.
Nothing.
That's awful.
Funny story now,
Jeez Louise.
but
Yeah. We laugh and we cry. And
Crazy
we
that
cry and we
Taylor.
cry.
I got really the fact that Taylor uses them is awesome. Or used them, in Worm.
Yeah, it's a little bit more sussy now that I know how painful they are.
Yeah, that's why they're
No,
called
it's
bullet
a little
ants.
sussy that she.
I mean,
yeah,
I do feel like when you're in a world with like literal dragons and
Yeah.
that's true.
gravity-defying monsters, a bad ant bite may be if that's the best weapon you got to use what you got.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Although it does make me wonder, like Taylor uses a lot of the capsaicin dipped
Mhm.
Yeah.
bugs
capsaicin
and
dip stuff
such,
as well.
and like
Yep.
the black widows. She loves using the black widows. I
I'll bite your dick off.
I don't even like saying it. And it just like it makes me think about that, like she holds in reserve the bullet ants, and she uses the bullet ants on those guys who had gone in as squatters when Brockton Bay was being rebuilt.
Mhm.
Like that's who she used the bullet ants on. Not long,
Yeah.
but these random squatters who were being difficult and like stealing people's shit.
Yeah.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
like, you lowest of the low bullet ants. Let's
That's
go.
hilarious.
Yeah.
What the
All right.
heck?
On that note, anything else in 6.1?
Yes, sorry.
Nope.
Last thing is just at the end, the great creepy moment of the like, oh Ray.
Oh, so creepy.
Just right at the end, and you're like, no.
Mama Mathers gives me nightmares.
Yeah,
she's not great.
What a
It's
character.
horrid.
I keep
Fantastic.
making reference for Mama Mathers. Has anyone else? We talked about this. Has anyone seen The Leftovers?
No.
Yes, we have
Those-
talked about
yeah.
this. No,
There's some-
none of us have still not seen The Leftovers
Yes.
except for you.
Eerie similarities between Mama Mathers and the head of the cult in that movie.
Mm.
More similar than you'd think, and I don't want to spoil anything,
Oh,
but it's
no.
it's fantastic. And I forget the actress's name, fantastic actress in that show, but like just the visceral image of a cult leader whispering in your ear no matter where
Oof.
you are is
Oof.
hauntingly similar, and it gives me the
Yeah.
creeps. I still haven't finished The Leftovers. It's hard to watch. It's very
Is it a
good.
show? Is
Yeah.
it a show?
It's
Okay.
done. It's three seasons and done. But
All
Did
right.
it wrap up or it just didn't get continued?
it wrapped up. When I understand, I
Oh,
haven't finished
nice.
it, but
I love
yeah.
a good 3 season and done.
I was to say,
Right.
Jacob, I will watch it for you.
Thank you. I do need other people to watch it. So-
6.2.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it
6.2.
moving.
Mama is free, and everyone finds their own solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Fighting shifts to containment. Rachel recognizes Chris. The wardens pull out, and Victoria 6 look-see on Tattletale.
the look-see Tattletale battle is really fun.
Oh, yes.
Um,
I feel like
it's-
Tattletale has met an annoying match. Like, not an actual match to her mind, but like the annoying level of like, it actually is bothering her, which I love.
it's
I
the
love it.
the little mosquito buzzing around your head that you cannot get rid of.
Yeah. Go,
Yeah.
Kenzie.
It's
Tease in chat.
fantastic.
Tease in chat. We got a tattletale.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
tease in chat.
Tattletale.
Yeah, this
Oh,
this is part of the section that starts to kind of bleed together. So I can't remember the
Yes,
exact
I will say,
identifiers.
is this where, is it this part where the guy steps out of the woods and he's like talking to them as Mama Mathers?
Yes.
And he's like,
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
wants
Yep.
to have a
Yes.
deal, like give us rain and we'll give you Aaron.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This
Yeah.
is
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
like you said, this is one of those chapters where everything kind of blurs together. Because Looksy drops the camera on Mama Mather's head.
Yes. Just the
Just
pie in the
rains her.
sky, boinks
Yeah.
That's
her,
in
and then
6.3.
Love it.
Is
Is that
I-
6.3? Sorry about
Okay.
Yeah,
that.
it hasn't happened yet.
my bad.
Sorry.
My
Blends
6.2
together.
notes are
It blends.
Rachel is the best. Look at her go. She's training Imp.
Yeah.
She's thanking people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like is she the responsible one that keeps them all together?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
She could be at this point.
She's so like OG Undersiders too. Like she
Yeah.
could be the glue.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, she's so good. And then
The girl.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think also any theories on how she knows Chris?
Yeah, I was hoping we would talk about
Oh,
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
This-
says, and Rachel, I feel, tends to be a fairly blunt person. She says, "Oh, I've seen a video of him."
Yeah.
And
And
then Imp's like,
he's
"What do you
worried
mean?"
about
Yeah,
it.
Imp,
He instantly
Yeah.
is like, I'm on video. Like he is upset.
Hmm.
yeah, and Imp is like, "Well, give me more information. Like, tell me more." And she's like, "No, it's not a big deal. Like, I just recognized him from a video." Like,
Right.
Yeah.
and I feel like Rachel's trying to pass it off as not a big deal, but for Chris, it is a big deal for some reason.
Mm.
Yeah.
I guess the question would be like, what is the video?
Yeah.
What is the video? That's the question.
So Jacob, please. Because I have
No,
a
I
theory.
was gonna. My only thought was like, there was a reason he's in the therapy group, and we don't know yet. So,
Yeah.
we
Well,
gotta.
he's an orphan is one thing.
I just
I'm
thought
sorry,
it was
that's
because he
not
was an
good.
asshole and he needed to get
Also
that.
I mean,
bad.
I-
it could
He's an
just be
orphan.
that 13-year-old asshole.
Yeah. I have a theory, but it connects to something later. Can I talk about it now or should I wait?
Yeah, that's
Sure.
fine.
I mean, if we're
Go.
talking about
Okay.
connecting theories,
I mean,
let's
we've all
go.
read all of
So-
6 anyway, so.
Yeah, so because he was like so worried about being on video and being like specifically recognized on video, because we've seen that he has these different like monstrous forms that he takes on, and they have names, like they have these different personas and these different like traits that he pulls and whatever. So like basic assumption that one of these creatures was on video somewhere. So I was thinking about this later when he opens up the fanny pack and he has all of these medical supplies. And he says something about one time when I went to transform back, I just came apart. And I instantly was like thinking about the broken triggers, like when the giant tree exploded from the dude's face.
Mm.
And this idea that like the trigger, or not the trigger, the power is just breaks you apart
Mhm.
instead of being cohesive and you functioning within it and you using the power, whatever. But that it breaks you, and that he's so protective of those medical supplies because he doesn't want to have to, use them, but he wants them in case. And so like there's this kind of feeling where I'm like, what if the video that she's seen him in was one of these creatures that he had been, that he's like putting distance between, like, because I'm still
Sure.
convinced that Chris is the problem in the group.
Mhm.
Like
always
Looksy
the
is
quiet one, right?
obviously, problematic. I'm very excited about family dinner, by the way. But with him, I feel like there's just so much he's not saying. And like he even said, I can only transform twice. But it doesn't feel like that's necessarily true. And I don't know if he's like purposefully leaving out information to the group. And he's like sneaking off during this whole fight, getting into other things, which ended up being fine. But
Yeah.
like there's so much weirdness and secrecy around him that I feel like maybe somehow it's connected to a broken trigger thing. That maybe he figured out
Maybe.
how to work through his broken trigger, and then this is what we have now because of it. Him being able to transform to these like
I
weird
like that.
things.
That's not a bad theory. It's to add
Yeah.
to that makes me think maybe it's something like the video is a form maybe it's like the first form he turned into.
Right,
And when
right,
he
right.
triggered, he like killed a bunch of people or did something terrible. and that's
Right.
on
Yeah.
video, but he didn't know it was on video.
Right.
But
And
PRT
he
gets
doesn't
called
want that
in.
connection.
He's a kid. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the form he just doesn't use anymore.
That's what I was
because he's
thinking.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
what I
going
was
back to
thinking.
him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
think
that.
it's
I
him
see that.
killing a bunch of people because he would be fine with that. Clearly, I
Yeah.
think the real answer is that it was just something embarrassing, and it's the equivalent of Avengers Endgame Hulk, like Bruce Banner looking at the Hulk and being like, "Oh my gosh, don't look! I can't believe
Mm.
that's what I used to look like."
Right. Yeah, just the shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
yeah,
Chris
pretty
does
much.
get my one of several of my favorite quotes of the whole arc, which I think is in 6.2, which was, "I was also shot, but nobody seemed to care."
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
just another.
But he just like
True.
absorbed
True.
the bullet.
He
I
was
guess?
shot while he was in, I forget the form name, the weird
curly
The-
one.
curly bird form.
spiral.
The banana.
Curly one.
The banana
The,
crow.
the backwards
The curly
banana,
banana
boy.
crow.
Yeah,
Banana,
right.
banana boy.
Banana boy.
he
Yeah.
was shot a few times, but
But
I guess
he's fine. He
shrugged
walked
it
it
But
off.
nobody
He's
cared,
fine.
apparently.
Yeah.
But
he
nobody
walked it.
cared.
6.3.
6.3.
Yeah. Oh, I will say real quick for 6.2, this is where the wardens are kind of like, okay, we're gonna start pulling out, like, move towards containment. Victoria's like, yeah, that's fine, but we're gonna move in and try to like actually still take out the fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna actually try and do
so-
our fucking jobs here.
Do our jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6.3, heroes try containment, retreat, and planning. Capricorn and Vista get told off by Narwhal. Vista
Oh.
crushes on Tristan. Fallen
Oh.
try negotiations in bad faith, and Mama gets comma Kinzied.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
There it is.
That's where that is.
So, yeah. So this was this was a funny scene where it was kind of like, because this is also where Victoria talks to Vista about Capricorn. She's like, "Look,
Yeah.
you maybe
Yeah.
have a thing for unattainable men in big armor."
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
like,
She was
Wait.
so blunt. She was
Damn.
like, "Look,
"What?" She said something really like
It was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
like I was like, "What, Vista?"
I totally
No.
expected her to say something. Like, I expected her to be like, "Hey, look, he's in a complicated situation. Also, not into girls.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure she doesn't say that. She's like,
He says,
I don't think you're her type or you're his type, and he'll tell
Yeah.
you soon enough
and
why.
he'll
It's not
tell
my
you
place.
soon
but-
enough."
but no, Victoria says, You have a thing for unattainable guys in heavy armor, and Vista says, "Dead son of a cunt, I might actually." And I'm like,
Yes!
"Whoa!" Oh.
It's so good. It's so good.
So-
I
Yes.
love it. Big V
I just
Little
have
V
written
energy.
down-
It's just amazing.
Vista, denial is a river in Egypt. Your
Egypt.
love interest is gay.
It feels so bad though, because like I also have a huge crush on Tristan. Like Tristan's fantastic. I love the Capricorn duo in general. I can't wait till we see more of Byron. But like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like he's in armor. He's hot. He's cool.
Well, and
he's got a
Tristan's
cool
the funny
power.
one. He's like the
And
charming,
he's
like,
funny.
hey.
He's got
Mhm.
charisma. The boy
got the
rolls
whiz.
high in charisma. Oh, poor
He sure does.
Vista. She just
And
has
Vista's
bad
just at
luck.
that age where she's just
She's
so
17.
horny.
She's
It is weird
She's
because in
forced
my
to be a
mind
girl.
she's still worm age. It's still 13-year-old
gosh.
Vista.
Yeah.
I
I
gotta
know, right?
mentally like age her up a bit.
She's 17.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I do love Narwhal.
proud.
Narwhal
Little
kind of
baby's grown up.
momming her. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Narwhal's still
'Cause
momming her though,
Narwhal-
like, Vista, you should know better.
Yeah, because Narwhal is her direct supervisor, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
I
narwhal.
love how
Always a
she's
good
like,
thing.
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm sorry, Jacob. What'd you say?"
No, I just more narwhals. Always good.
More
Yeah.
Narwhal.
Love seeing narwhal.
Yeah. As Fran says, considering Vista had a crush on her dead boyfriend, her dynamic with Victoria is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah. you
Look,
know.
well, Dean's dead now, so
Yeah. Well, like the situation with them, is very comparable to Amy.
yeah.
Like it's Amy, Victoria and Amy did not have a like great conversation because Victoria thought that Amy might be in love with her boyfriend.
With Dean. Yeah.
And that kind of just didn't get talked about. And even when Dean brought it up, is like there are complicated emotions towards me. and I'm not quite sure. Like, I think I know what they are. And she's like, mind your own
Ugh.
business, basically. And
Yeah.
Vista though was kind of, I mean, she's a little kid, but she's very, like, like we know, like, you have a crush on him, and she's like,
Yeah.
man, like,
Yeah,
oh
like it's
well,
little
like,
kid crush. Like she's
yeah,
13. Like
and she
Yeah,
knows it
yeah,
too. Like, she's
yeah.
like, can't I just have that? Like, can I just have this? Thank you.
Let me just
Like,
have my crush. Yeah.
Yeah.
like I know, and so I think, and we saw their dynamic back when, after the Leviathan fight, where they're taking like the college courses and like
Right.
they're talking in the hallway with Clock Blocker and everything, and like,
Oh,
you
clock
know,
blocker.
Vista, and Vicky already had a weirdly good relationship for people that weren't, necessarily
Yeah.
working on the same team all the time. They just, they work together a lot.
yeah. Well,
And
and with that
yeah.
interlude, yeah, with that interlude too, after Dean's death, I think there's that feeling where Victoria's like, Vista may be the only one who really understands how I feel. Like, ironically,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
not because
Mhm.
it was a childhood crush, but in terms of somebody being sort of your idol,
Yeah.
like Dean was that. Victoria's talked about that in this already too. Like, Dean sort of was on that pedestal for her too, in a
Yeah.
way, and their relationship was so important to her. So yeah,
Yeah.
it,
He was
it's a
also team
good
lead.
relationship.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was like
yeah, he was a
team
big deal
leader,
for
and like
the
losing
team.
him, and there's the whole emotion thing as well. Like I think we talked about with Worm was
Yeah.
that just like being around him, you couldn't help but
Mhm.
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Even like platonically, like he was just a good guy, and yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. You guys remember Aegis? Anyways, moving on.
Who even does, right?
I, anyways, yeah. So I do love the scene though. I think this is where the guy comes out of the woods and is like, "Hey, we'll give you Aaron if you give us rain."
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all the Fallen start freaking out and they don't know why, and it's because a camera got dropped on Mama Mathers.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
knocked her out. Like it just like took
It
her out.
like
knocked her
of
out.
course
No,
she
it knocked
got
her out.
blood pouring
Yeah.
down her face.
Yeah.
I mean, have y'all? I mean, look here. We know Kenzie's cameras are blocky
Oh, yeah.
as hell,
Yeah,
but
She
like
does
if
two
you got
things,
hit with
it's
a
giant
regular,
boxes and cameras.
exactly, yes. I mean, if you got hit with a regular DSLR, that cause that
Yeah.
make you bleed. But like a giant box floating in the sky, just bam out of nowhere. Also, if it's high enough
Yeah.
that like they didn't
Yeah.
know it was there, and then it comes full hurtling down out of space. Like she is.
Yeah.
It's
No, I love-
amazing she didn't die.
And the implication being before this, like Mama Mathers planned for everything, is apparently immune to sedation or
Yeah.
something like that, or has a cape nearby that
Yeah.
helps whatever it was. So
Yeah.
the whole thought of like can't even knock me out. I'm immune to anything. Not immune to gravity.
Bam!
Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. So good.
Simple but effective.
Listen, yep.
To
Very
clear up
effective,
something in
yeah.
chat, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Aegis was team lead. He was about to age out or graduate. Dean was going to be the next in line for
That's right.
barely any time at all. And then Clock Blocker, because maybe we're looking at semesters here. So Clock Blocker is going to take over for the next semester at best. And Clock Blocker's like, and then I'm going to age out. So it's like, I'm not even team lead for that long, and neither of you. So like, what does it even matter?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But then,
Aegis did have
then
that going for him.
Gallant and Aegis both died in the Leviathan fight, so it
Yeah.
went to Clock
Yeah.
Blocker naturally.
Everyone
who-
died.
And then
went
Clock
to
Blocker
Weld.
got. I was going to say
Weld,
then
went to
Clock
Weld,
Blocker
yeah,
didn't
went
even
to
get that. It just
And Clock Blocker still didn't get
Yeah.
it because it went to Weld. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clock
Okay.
Blocker's
But yeah.
I don't think Clock Blocker
Uh,
wanted to be team lead anyway. Like that
No,
wasn't
I don't
his
think he
vibe.
did. That wasn't his vibe.
Not his. No.
No.
But yeah. So Mama Mathers is, I would just presume dead, based on how big we know her
I mean,
camera technology to be. So
did they carry her out of the woods, or did she walk out of the woods?
Yeah, no,
'Cause I
they
feel like
carry her.
carry her out of the woods.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
not walking.
Yeah, they carry her.
There's blood everywhere.
Her neck is broken. Her head
They
is a
did-
jello puddle. Her brain is
Her neck,
soup.
no. She's not broken. She's just
Okay, hear me out.
severely
This is like an
damaged.
imp situation where like her power continues on, but it's just you just
God.
see her dead body in the corner of
Oh.
your vision all the time.
No.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my god.
No.
Oh, that
Just
is
knock the fuck out. Like it's
Brutal.
like, oh no, I'm smelling it. Like, oh no, I've smelled the dead body once. I'm gonna smell it for as long as that power lasts.
No.
Oh,
That'd be the worst. No,
Thankfully.
gratefully for everybody involved, her power disconnects when she gets unconscious.
thank goodness.
whew.
Yeah. But even then, even after they get her contained though, they're still worried about her waking up, so they have a phasing out power.
Oh,
Where like
yeah.
somebody's like
So
phasing
cool.
her between dimensions, basically, so she's
They have
not
her in like a coffin
completely.
thing.
They have her
Yeah.
in a
Yeah, they
coffin
have her.
first.
They have her in a Capricorn coffin, Capricorn stone coffin, and
Love it.
with another
Capricoffin, if you will.
cape, Capricoffin.
Capricoffin.
There you go, patent pending. And yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah,
is
Yeah,
smart, the whole phasing
And
and
they're
out
even
thing.
they're even like, and we know this isn't permanent because when she phases back in, she has a momentary grasp of everybody, but then is phased out again. So it's like it's the best they can do. It's crazy. They just need to
She's
punch
very
her into a
powerful.
different dimension.
I mean, which is the planet
I
that
kind of feel
slowly
that way.
got the cancer
Earth
radiation?
No,
Bet,
Is
the
it
original one, Earth Bet.
but I was gonna say,
That
was
Earth
that
Bet's
Damn it!
dying.
Then we
Yeah.
can't have nice things. Earth Bet's just fucked. Yeah, no,
Earth Bet
punch her
is
onto
so
Earth
fucked.
Bet.
They've got the cancer, they've got the spore spreading, the disease, they've got the machine army on the edge of
Machine
things.
army.
Like,
Yep.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's all
God.
Earth Bet. It's all
Yeah.
it's a
Earth Bet is just
yeah.
gone, so.
bad place. Bad place. Yeah, so that was fun.
I'm trying to think.
Alrighty.
I don't think too much
6.4?
more happened. I was gonna say that's when we got 6.4. I know more stuff
Yeah.
starts to happen.
I'll be honest, I don't have another note until 6.6, so
We got 9 of these,
Yeah.
so there's a few crossover.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can. I mean,
No,
I have more
Bernard,
thoughts
it's
on different
not
sections. So.
scapegoat.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
answer your question in chat, it's not scapegoat's power that's phasing it out. It's somebody
No,
else,
no.
but I don't
It's someone else.
remember.
it might be unmentioned. They do talk
I was
about
gonna say I
Busy.
don't
No,
think
they had a
Being
name.
handcuffed.
No,
Did they-
there was a name. I remember there was a name solely because it was Capricorn, Vista, and this third hero walking together, carrying her back.
Oh.
I don't remember what their name was.
So, does it start with an S or a C? Maybe
I thought it was
like
an A.
schism or something.
Something like that, maybe.
Or
Yeah.
chasm,
I'm sure
maybe?
chat will let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure it out,
Tell-
chat.
But
Tell us.
I do love-
6.4.
William Doe just says Mama Mathers in the corner in the Family Guy death pose forever.
Oh. No.
All right, 6.4. Victoria and Ashley unload their frustrations on the Fallen, meeting Bamet's beasts. Mama is recaptured, and Tattletale talks. Rain and Sveta need rescuing. Okay, so 6.4 were they
Oh.
They actually
captured
Oh my
Mama
gosh.
Mathers again.
Completely forgot about that. Holy macaroni. There's so much stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Jeez.
A lot does happen.
Okay.
What was
I'll
the
be honest,
first
I
part of that
phased out
again?
most of
Yeah,
that
this-
So they.
chapter.
I think we
This
talked
is when
about
everything.
Yeah, Victoria
Yeah,
and
I-
Ashley.
I-
This is where Victoria fights that one cape who has that shadow power you were mentioning, Alan.
Oh,
That's
right.
what it is.
That's
There
what
we
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Okay. Where one of them becomes an
I'm pretty sure.
immovable stone type
Yeah.
object
Right.
and switches with it, but can't move both of them. So you got an ultimate, ultimate frisbee situation going on.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And
for as much as I'm not remembering it, I do remember liking that fight. Just the mechanics of it, I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
Trying to
yeah, for sure.
And ultimately ends up because Ashley just goes, if I blow this apart, are you gonna die? And they're like, what? You can't blow it apart. Okay.
boom.
Like,
Yep.
oh
Yeah. But this is also where, because so after the whole Beast of Burden situation, Ashley has turned herself into Gilpatrick. And so she
Mhm.
asks Gilpatrick, or
the Patrox.
she asks Gilpatrick if she can, like, is she cleared to like join the fight and help Victoria, which I think is cool. Like I feel like after everything that happened with Damsel, and us being like with the whole like foot on the head thing, like that was just cold-blooded. I feel like her behavior now just proves like how much she's trying to do the right thing. She's trying to it makes it like, to me, it convinces me that whole thing was an act, like with Beast of Burden, that like
yeah,
she was
100%.
playing out to the big villain thing in front of the other bozos. I can't remember their names. And that
bozos.
Yeah, and then that she turned herself in and was like, yeah, I fucked up. I majorly fucked up, and I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do. Which I respect her so much because of that. Like, yeah. I think I like Ashley more and more every time we interact with her.
No, I think it's really good character writing because, like, you kind of get the sense that that's what it is early on. Just kind of her attitude and everything. You're like, okay, you're probably a softie, right? But like, she's also messed up, and that's very obvious. And she's got that whole, like, to quote the Joker, it's like a dog chasing cars. Doesn't know what to do with one until she catches it, and then she does and kills somebody, and is immediately does the 180. And like, so far since then, it's been, oh, yes, I do have the power to kill people, and I don't like that. And it took killing someone to figure that out, but like, I think we're all, she's not the problem in the group, and that's not
right.
She's not
Absolutely
not in the same
agree.
way, at least. Yeah. And it might be 6.4, it might not be, but I think this is also where she's like, hey, I'm probably gonna go to jail for killing Bob, at least for a bit. If I do, can you make sure that, like, please take care of Kenzie for me? And
that's
and
later
it's kind of
on the
this, like,
bus.
Victoria's like, it might be later, but it's like Victoria's kind of thinking,
Yeah.
I kind of thought Kenzie was taking care of you, but
Right.
maybe it's kind of both and, kind of taking care of each other. Is that 6.6? Okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll get there.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah,
I just
good
love
fights.
it.
Vomit is a weirdo. Kind of reminds me of Bonesaw. I don't like that.
Yeah, the weird. Is this the weird animal thing?
Makes like he like mixes up human and animal bodies to
There's
make
like a
the
horse
beast.
with a human face.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting
No,
big
man.
old chimera
That-
vibe. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that ain't it.
very Full Metal
ain't it.
Alchemist chimera vibes and not
Yep,
great.
I wasn't gonna just spell it out, but yeah,
Full Metal.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. Because they're like, careful, don't necessarily kill them if you don't have to. There's something human in there. It was like,
something.
oh no.
Don't say
Well,
that.
it makes me
Don't
wonder.
tell me that.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me wonder if he's like, because like later, I think it's in the next chapter when they go and there's like all the animal pieces just everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
he literally he pulled a bone saw, and he just kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that I could make a squelch ear sound when I did that, but I don't.
Yeah.
How about a soul bond?
How about a quick soul bond?
Oh no.
More like a flesh bond in this way.
Yeah.
Gross. gross.
You like your dog? You want to be closer to your dog than you've ever been before?
Oh. Chow Tucker, no.
Wait, okay. Side note. Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist. I think I sent you guys this, but it was this guy who was saying like, "All right, listen, Shao Tucker is a hero. You want to know why? You want to get cat girls and dog girls?
Oh.
He was trying to get us there.
No.
He was a pioneer.
A hero to some, maybe, but not to me.
Oh
God.
So you want cute anime cat girls with cat ears and tails? You got to get there somehow.
That is not what he created. That was a weird missing link kind of.
That's the point, though. He was trying.
That's
he was
funny.
trying.
We didn't land on the moon with
Don't
Apollo 1.
understand.
Okay.
That's right. Some people just don't understand science.
Damn, Jacob.
Bro. We're losing the chat. Let's keep going.
Losing the chat.
Oh, sorry,
anyways,
guys.
Yeah, so Mama gets recaptured. Tattletale tells them where Rain and Sveta are, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go. We gotta save them."
Yeah.
So speaking of like anime chapter endings, these chapters all did feel like
Yeah.
cliffhanger. Next time on Ward,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
will they get to Rain and Sveta in time?
I mean, I was
And he
listening to
and
the
that's his he
audiobook.
does that.
I was
Yeah.
listening to the audiobook,
That's just
so it was
typical
even
web
more of
serial.
that because it ends the chapter, the music picks up, and the
Oh, really?
narrator, Rain, the narrator is like, this has been a production of War, and you're like, what? Yeah, skip
Next
to the
episode,
one,
next
skip to the
episode.
next one. Like,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
skip through the intro. I want to know what happened.
I love it.
Uh,
Speaking of what happened, 6.5?
yeah. Oof. Big oof.
6.5.
Big
Rain,
oof.
badly injured, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
First aid attempts during a grudge discussion. Cradle and Operator Red attack.
Mm.
Cradle feels seriously violated, but still gets captured. Tattletale negotiation. Rain is healed by the fallen scapegoat.
Yeah.
What a twist.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Seen scapegoat before.
Yes,
This
we
is
have.
Scapegoat's popped up a few times.
Scapegoat's
mentioned
the
that there was
he's
you're
the
blind.
he's the one who's like, you're blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
mentioned them as a phasing healer earlier
Yes.
before. Like, yeah, we've got a phasing healer around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
That's right.
This was probably my favorite fight of the arc, because I think it went back to kind of we were talking about earlier episodes ago, where Wildbow's best when his fights are character focused, and they're
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're telling character stories through the fight. And this one just
Yeah.
felt really personal. Like Victoria
Yeah.
really wanted to hurt Cradle, you could tell,
Yeah.
as did everybody.
Yeah.
And just seeing Rain basically dead at that point, Sveta's hurt, just like it was a real, the emotions were high in the fight, and that really helped. Plus
This is gonna
Cradle,
sound
really cool.
yeah. This is gonna sound a little odd, and maybe it's because I just watched a VFX thing on this, but the vibe I kind of got is, they're in this like barn essentially, and come in, he's all wounded, and really wants to Victoria really wants to kill Cradle. And
Yeah.
because of the limbs, I'm imagining very much sort of the abandoned warehouse on the pier from Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock and his arms versus
I was
Spider-Man.
just
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
that. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you kidnapped Mary Jane. I'm gonna kill you," and
Yep.
yeah.
Oof.
No, I liked seeing. I've enjoyed seeing this cluster trigger get to show off each of their own powers and how
Yeah.
powerful they are.
Yeah.
It's like Snag had the mover power, right? Just like dropping up and down, left and right, however
Yeah. The
he
gravity
wanted.
shift.
Yeah.
Which
Whereas
his
Rain has the lasers.
yeah,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
his version of that, Rain has the ability to just stop momentum.
Mhm.
And his seems to be the ability to not fall off of his giant hand things. Because they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
they feel like hands on top of hands kind of,
Yeah.
moving around.
He stands on
It's
the
like
back of the hand. He doesn't even stand like in the palm. He stands
It's
on
like
the
a mech
back of
suit
it.
made of hands, is how I'm
But
imagining
yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
the
say, but
horrid.
from what I gather, there's times
So
where
creepy.
like the fingers are up though, because he's
it.
like
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about him like swinging and like holding on to a finger
Yeah.
while the hand is doing its thing. So like
Well,
they're bending backwards at the very least, if not like are
maybe.
multi-sided.
Yeah.
I pictured it kind of like a Cirque du Soleil act, where the guys are like,
Mm.
the giant things are spinning, and they're kind of just running around them and staying on top of basically that, where you got all these moving fingers and limbs and arms, whatever he's got, sort of moving
Right.
around, and he's
Yeah.
just literally perfectly kind of
Oh.
hopping and keeping his balance between the mess,
Yeah.
which is
And I will
visually
say,
So
really
cool.
really cool.
of the four, did Cradle get the best of the four?
Didn't
Like,
Cradle? I feel like he did.
between the hand, the tinker powers with the hands, but also with these invisible whips that he can create, which are
So
a
cool.
version of Rain's power.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, what? Why? He's clearly the
It-
most powerful member of the four. It feels
Yeah.
like, at least. And
Yeah.
maybe it's like a
And-
good day for him or something, but it's still compared to
so.
the others we've seen.
I really want more Cradle. I'm really glad he didn't die in this fight because, especially after his conversation with Victoria about the whole feeling violated thing, like that it piqued my interest. Like I'm here because we never got Cradle's like nightmare flashback interludes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's true. And
he's
even
like
again,
the
I mean,
one
the whole
enigma.
Yeah. Just the baseline of what he was saying though of like I wouldn't have triggered if Rain hadn't done what he did. Is like that baseline of something has taken over me.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
always the antagonist that is fully justified is always a really fun antagonist because like they're not villains. It's from what we know. You know, they just hate Rain, understandably so.
Valid.
You know, valid. So yeah, it makes for a really I love that type of character. I love interacting with those types of characters. So hopefully more Cradle. And
Fran had a question in chat. Said, "Would it ruin Cradle if I told you the fandom thinks Wildbow based him on Caillou?" Who I think is who you're trying to spell is Caillou.
Yeah, it is.
And I would say
know.
no because I don't see that too much.
Is he a bald
We
child?
have heard.
We know that he hates Caillou.
Yeah, we
right?
know that he hates
We talked about
Caillou.
this
Yes.
before.
Yes, we have heard of
The rest of the chat
We'll
is
keep that in
upset about
mind.
this as well.
Yeah.
I refuse.
We'll keep that in mind as we move forward.
I don't
Oh.
personally see it, but I guess you
I don't
never
see it
know.
either, but there's so much we're still missing from the story.
I miss 20% of every arc.
We'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to that statement when we have more information.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, remind us when we get back to that. Yeah.
That is funny though. If we see Cradle
It's a
again,
meme. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Is
Now
he
I'm just
bald?
hoping
Is
that,
Cradle
like-
bald?
He is
Is
now
he?
in my head.
I was
Thanks.
about to say he wasn't
Thanks,
before,
chat.
but he is now. We still don't have a reason for why Cradle though, right? Do we have a reason why his name is Cradle?
Well, the
Other than
hands.
the hand is
The hands
cradling.
carry him.
Yeah.
Oh, but like
We don't know otherwise though. We don't know
That's-
otherwise.
I mean,
Listen,
okay.
their whole group, their names aren't great. Okay, Rain is still
No.
Rain. Snag, like I mean, listen,
I like
they're not.
Snag.
I think they're
Not
all loosely based on what happened in the mall. Love Lost is pretty obvious. Snag,
think
remember
Love
he
Lost
got
is
his hand. He
phenomenal.
was trying to help somebody, got his hand caught, and couldn't help them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Um,
gotcha. Okay.
So we don't know
Yep.
why Cradle, but we could assume there might
Well,
be another
now I'm
reason.
scared. So
It's because he's
Let's,
a widow baby like Caillou.
A little
He's
baby.
a little baby
No.
like Caillou.
he's a
Caillou's
triggered
Well, I mean,
baby.
we've run into Nursery already, and Nursery is
Yeah.
absolutely fucking terrifying as a power.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll keep a pin
don't
in
know.
that one.
We have something to look forward to.
But also, just last note that I have for this one was another Kenzie win with the fake lasers flying to
Oh,
him.
so good.
Oh,
Fantastic! Like,
Yeah.
just
Because she
well
comes
done.
in
brilliant.
she comes in clutch with the camera to help them see the invisible
See the
whip
lasers.
Yep.
laser things, which is magical. Go Kenzie. And then she comes in with the red herring, or not red herring, but the
The red lasers.
red laser.
The fake red laser. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jacob. The fake red lizard. Which is also great. Like she's doing so good. She's staying to the sidelines like she's supposed to, but she's helping and she's proud of herself. Like, yay, go Kenzie.
She basically, for the D&D nerds, has like permacast. You know, all the illusory spells, the
Major
greater
illusion.
major illusion,
Yeah,
greater,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff,
Very
which
fun.
is really
Yeah.
fun. Really fun.
Mm.
Moving on. What are we at?
Alrighty.
6.6.
6.6. I guess the only other thing we missed is that Oh no, never mind. Yeah. No.
Wait,
Yeah, that was
is there-
6.5. Rain was healed by Scapegoat, who's fallen now, which sucks.
Oh, yes, we
Oh,
didn't talk
right,
about that.
right.
So he's just what?
Yeah.
After Gold Morning, he just kind of
The
joined
scapegoat
the
was
cult?
he always was a little on the fritz, wasn't he? Though.
Weird.
I think he was always upset because his power sucks. And I'll be honest, yeah, like it sucks.
It's pretty bad.
And
power.
so like your
I mean-
ability is like, what's your ability? Oh, I take on the injuries of others and experience them for myself so they can keep doing useful things. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
I
Yeah.
oh my
guess.
god.
And isn't do I'm trying to remember. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
That's all
I
right.
think years ago, when I was into Worm, I spoiled myself on some word spoilers for characters. So I don't know if I did, but it's in the back of my mind. So I'm just
Okay,
gonna.
sure. Well, and I will
No
say too,
spoilers.
like I don't know if it was Mama Mathers, Valafor, one of them made the implication like we have a lot more pull than or Tattletale said it maybe. Like we
Yeah.
have a lot more pull than you may realize, or the Fallen have a lot more pull. And
Yeah.
having the speedrunners in Prancer's group turn on them, nobody
Freaking
expected that.
speedrunners.
The
Yep.
scapegoat letting the Crawleys out, or the Crowleys out.
Mhm.
Like
The
nobody
crawlies?
saw that coming. The Crawleys,
Creepy
Crowleys, whatever they're
crawlies?
Yeah.
called.
The creepy
Yeah,
crawlies.
the
The creepy
Crowleys.
crawlies.
Exactly. They are creepy and they crawly.
And they crawly.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It does kind of feel like, oh man, like that. I don't know. It was kind of destined, maybe, that somebody like him
Maybe.
would turn bad.
Yep.
But it is
It's just
what
a
it is.
bummer though. Like seeing people that
It's
we
a
know
bummer.
from Worm too, because it feels so nostalgic anytime we run into somebody. Like, I mean, like running into Narwhal, even the Undersiders having them back. Like, it's so nostalgic back to Worm. And then to be yeah, it just breaks my heart a little bit to see people who, were at Gold Morning, who survived Gold Morning, and then like they've come out the other side and they're struggling, or they're like trying to find their place, or you know joining a cult. Like it sucks, and it makes the world feel more real, that like people are so struggling, to function and find their place in the new universe as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. We didn't talk much about Operator Red. He's kind of an
Oh
interesting
yeah,
one just because
he's cool.
uh, Victoria labels him as a combat thinker.
Yeah,
Sort of
Yeah.
similar, not as strong, of course, but similar in vibes in that way to somebody like a Jack Slash, where they're just constantly aware of combat, right? Like they
yeah,
just have an intuitive usage of weapons and things like that, which is kind of cool. Cool. I feel like he's got an interesting costume too. He's got the cleavers on his back. He's got a mask with a red handprint on it, very Urukai
yeah,
kind of looking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of a nice, like cool minor villain. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
good, nice, cool backup villain. I like that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if there's much more. Tattletale wants Cradle. We don't find out why
Yeah.
until
Mhm.
later, but is what it
Still
is.
not entirely sure, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep.
explain when we explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else until
Uh,
6.6?
No.
That's all my notes.
Alrighty. Oh, the one little thing. It was in 6.4, but Vista and Capricorn riding on Narwhal's little
Oh,
Oh,
little
that
that
was
was a
so
thing.
good.
They're just like,
cool.
we've just been doing loops, waiting for you to pick us up.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world moment.
And they're
Definitely
like,
say
'cause they can
something
only
like,
go
yeah.
straight.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only go straight. So Vista's like having to like just bend everything so that they're like making these loops. So
Which
fun.
feels like some sort of metaphor for what she's trying to do with the relationship or something like that. Like,
Poor Vista.
Ah,
Poor Vista. Gosh.
Trying to
yes.
straighten out that bend, so it's the reverse.
Trying to straighten out the bend.
She's bending the straight so she can straighten the bend.
Yeah.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah. No, that was funny.
There
Oh.
it is.
All right, 6.6. Narwhal standoff with the remaining Fallen. Tattletale warns Vicky about March and dealing with the anti-cape Captain Marshall. The team discusses the fight and parts ways with the other heroes. Will Rain let the Fallen run? Is the question at the end of the arc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one group had gotten away.
Yeah.
This is the arc that
6.6 is
ends.
where.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say 6.6 is the end of them being in the Fallen camp. They leave after this to
Yeah.
chase the remaining
Yeah.
Crowleys. This is where they have the hero who's phasing out Mama Mathers. I found his name, Casmol.
Chasmal.
Okay.
I said
Chasmal?
chasm
Chasmal?
earlier.
You were-
I
yeah,
was
you were
very
yeah,
close.
Chasmal. So he's the one. He's like making the coffin lighter so Byron can drag it. And then
Which
phasing
was
her partially out of reality.
so fun. The little
I love,
banter.
yeah,
Like
the
the
little banter
little
there was great.
It was very cute. Like I didn't get any of the superpower, but like I can
He's
pretend like
I
I'm
can
strong.
pretend to have the super strength for once.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
It was good.
Oh, I love it so much. Also, is it here where Vista does like the fist bump? She's like,
Yeah.
and everyone's
Yeah,
just like,
he does a fist bump to a bunch of people.
I
think
love it. So much.
The funny one with that is when she tries to do it to Ashley, and Ashley's just
Ashley
like,
is just like,
Yeah.
but
no.
she smiles though. Like she's she recognized it. I think if she fist bumped her power would misfire and someone would end up with their arm blown
Yeah.
off.
Ashley's also this is the part where Ashley feels like she may be tainting Luxie a little and feels bad about that.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's right.
yes.
Yeah, because she's like, I think maybe she tried to kill Mama Mathers because I killed somebody. And if she
Yeah.
killed somebody too, then it would make it feel less bad. I think Bernard mentioned that earlier in chat as well.
Yeah.
Which just kind of goes to show like how dangerous Kenzie can be. Like you got a real monkey see, monkey do situation with
Yes.
we talked about with no inhibition or anything going on. Like
It's like she doesn't, and I don't know if this is because she's a kid still, but the whole like understanding of like cause and effect and consequences and like long-term consequences like are completely lost on her, which I know we've talked about before, but like have we talked about the whole thing of like maybe Kenzie's a sociopath?
Not a person. Or a sociopath.
Not a person is definitely something we have talked about. But like there's something like I don't know if it, because teenagers are stupid. Like they make dumb decisions. They don't recognize that things have long-term effects. Like I don't know if this is a thing where it's like she's a dumb teenager with a power that fucks up all of her.
She's not a dumb teenager because
community.
let's go to the next
Well,
chapter
no.
a little bit to say everybody was hurt and Kenzie was 11. But
Yeah.
she, like, okay, a new theory for Kenzie, if you'll allow me.
Yeah, go for it.
Kenzie, because her specialty is cameras, only sees people as with that degree of separation. Like, as we talk about with, like when people are watching other people on YouTube or, just interacting on the internet, there's a tendency to like act out more because, people used to talk about anonymity, but also like it is the degree of separation. Like there is essentially a window between you and this other person. And that small degree of separation allows you to act very socially different with, other people. And I think Kenzie just lives like that because potentially to her, people aren't just other people. They are like I said, they are degree separated. They are images on the other end of a retinal camera, like as opposed
but it's
to
also mixed with like
good.
the intensity of a fan and a fandom, right?
Yeah,
Of like
that
like somebody who's
parasocial
like that
kinda.
parasocial relationship
Yeah.
of like, oh my gosh, I would do anything for this K-pop
Yeah.
boy band.
Yeah.
Hey, you leave K-pop boy bands out of this.
I'm sorry. You're right. Taylor Swift.
A different kind of cult,
Different kind of cult. Yeah, very different. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That's a good way of looking at it, maybe.
Yeah, that is really
And
good.
then this is also where, Ashley's like, hey, if something happens to me, take care of Kinsey. There's not really anybody else who can. And Victoria's like, what about her parents? And Ashley's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's what she says, go to family dinner.
Yeah, go to family dinner. You'll understand
yeah.
why.
I can't wait for family dinner. Let's go.
Bernard,
robot
that's actually a
parents.
good point. You bring up the earlier a person triggers, the more shard that person is. Like the more they impacted, the more it like develops and kind of
Interesting.
grows
Yeah.
in and with them. And the
Yeah.
two big examples we have with this are Bonesaw trying to literally put together who the heck
my
Riley
God.
is.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
she doesn't even like it literally is a
Hmm.
complete
Oh,
break for her to remember, like, oh yeah, I was a human being one time. And it's a
Right.
drastic difference between the
Yeah.
two.
Trying to become
Be-
Riley instead
yeah.
of just
Yeah.
And the other is Valkyrie. Like Valkyrie is so
Mm.
like
inhuman.
separated from
Yeah.
Plastic Wenye because
Yeah.
that was literally like 99% shard talking through
Yeah.
human language.
Right.
And then her kind of feeling like she was coming out of a trance almost, like, yeah, like, and now that I'm trying to distinguish my humanity, like, that's tough.
Yeah.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe as brainworms.
Yeah.
Also, Falcady, I think, in chat said the Rachel effect, and I was thinking about that. I don't know if
In
this is what
regards
you
to
were referring
Kenzie.
to, but yeah, in regards to Kenzie, but like the
Yeah.
whole thing of how Alan, you were talking about Kenzie seeing people with that degree of separation, with the whole like seeing them through the lens thing, like bitch seeing people as dogs, and like the
Mhm.
behavioral pattern of dogs, of like this is how deeply
Yeah.
your power is connected back to you. And how it changes the way you see other people.
Rachel was a fairly young trigger as well, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Rachel has, because of, other people pointing stuff out to her, has
Mhm.
developed enough coping mechanisms and stuff
Yes.
to seem to actually be working through a lot of, a lot of those things
Yeah.
that, would have had the more aggressive side effects of not being able to read people. Like, she has developed uh, you know, ways to work within that space and
Yeah.
to work around it.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
it's a
also
lot like
matured. Like she's
yeah,
a grown up now. Like
yeah.
She's older. Yeah.
It just
she's
reminds me a
had
lot of people who have those, like, they were very autistic as a child and just undiagnosed because autism wasn't, created until the 2012, era. But
autism didn't
you know,
exist back then. Don't you know?
exactly. And then they grow
Yeah.
up and you're like, oh yeah, that person's a little weird. And and then something sets them off and you're like, oh, like you might actually have like a lot of autism, but you figured out through the course of your life coping mechanisms to
To help
work
you. Yeah.
Or you've
around,
had
like,
people in your life to help you,
yeah,
like
and you've
teach you
worked
how
around like
to. Yeah.
90% of that.
Right. Go Undersiders. Undersiders for the win.
Mm, mm.
It's true. It's true. Better therapy than team therapy, apparently.
Yeah.
For real though. Oh man.
All right.
Yep.
Before we move on, though, just because I mark my chapters with Chris quotes, we can't skip my other favorite Chris quote from this arc,
Love it.
which was his joke about Luxie. Or I'll just read it because it's so good. Chris went on, I wanted to make a joke before, but speaking takes concentration when you don't have the mouth you're used to. Now it sounds dumb because I'd be saying it out of nowhere. Say it, Luxie said. Luxie, more like lookout, Chris said, as he chose the most deadpan tone of voice he could manage in a way that sucked any of the residual humor out of the line. So
It was so funny. It was great.
Absolutely killing it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Fran, did you see Fran's comment? Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Like in terms of
fantastic.
shard effects, and Vista's shard makes her see unobtainable minutes closer to her league.
Yep. That's some of the best speech
Wow.
ever.
Oof, that was great.
Oh.
Fantastic.
that's
Wow.
good. That's very good.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, we run into Captain Marshall because they're all like, "Hey, there's fallen people with guns leaving. Like, we should stop them, right?" And Captain Marshall's like, "Nah,
Better
it's
let
not
him go. Yeah.
it's it's a better jurisdiction, somebody else's jurisdiction,
Someone else's
And
problem.
this is one of those again frustrating conversations where it's like the hero villain conversation with Amy we've talked about before, or the villain hero conversation we had with other characters in Ward, where they're
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, like obviously they were upset and shooting at us. We invaded their home, and I'm like, well, but we had a good
Making
reason.
me crazy. Oh
We had a
my
good reason for
god.
doing that.
She I understand. I understand where she's coming from. And even Gilpatrick being like, this is how she operates. Like, oh, did you think maybe they were just defending themselves?
Well, yes. However,
Were you here at the same fight as us? Did you watch that? Because that was not people defending themselves. That was human torture and lots of death and we can't I don't we yeah, no, just
it's hard because it's like it's that mixture of there is some understanding there, right? Where it's like, okay, all those people who are unpowered, they just have guns, they're scared out of their minds, right? Like, okay,
yeah.
them I totally
Yeah,
get.
you could
Like
twist it. A good lawyer could twist it.
it's so hard. On the other hand, though, obviously they're up to something. We don't trust these people. We know that they have big plans. Like this was going to happen anyway because Prancer's group was coming, so we needed to be here to stop the worst of it from getting
Yeah.
worse. Like it's very frustrating, and I don't know. It's hard because I'm thinking too, right? I'm in the mindset of what do we do with the fallen as a group? Because the simplest answer is also the worst thing to do, which is just eradicate
Earth
them.
bet.
Like, yeah, like
Earth
Earth bet.
bet.
There you go.
Earth bet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, but rehabilitating people from a cult takes time and resources.
Much time.
And that
Yeah.
is incredibly difficult to do for this large of a number of people. So what do you do? Like they don't have
Yeah.
that time and that
Yeah.
resources.
And here's
And
the lawyer's defense.
they're also
It's
dealing with like
so
walking nuclear bombs at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lawyer's defense for all of this is these people are getting religiously discriminated and were attacked by a pack of supervillains. A premeditated attack by a gang of supervillains coming
Yeah.
to attack
It's a
them
very easy
based on
defense to
religious
sound,
persecution.
Right.
Like, and then the heroes aided the supervillains in attacking them. Like,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
like it does not look good, you
No.
know, trying to prosecute them.
Good thing
Yeah,
the
so, like-
fallen make bad decisions.
Oh yeah, they would
It's a good
ruin
thing
all
that-
of their defenses
themselves.
by getting up on the stand. You would never
Yeah.
want to have them. You
No.
would try to get them as far away
Yeah,
from
you
witnesses.
would.
You know,
They would not
testifying.
be
Yeah.
on the stand. No, you would keep them out
No.
off
No.
the stand
They'd
for sure.
be there, and the jury of peers would be like, "Fuck them."
God, hang on.
Exactly.
That's a
There's that-
virgin motherfucking Christ on the back of his tattooed across his back. Get him the fuck out of here.
Jeez.
Sir, I will
Yeah.
remind you to
There's
remove
that-
the animal head from your person.
from your head, from your
Yeah.
person.
Please remove the horse head before testifying.
Oh man.
There's
There's this clip that's been going around from the show Make Some Noise of Brennan Lee Mulligan and Zach Oyama.
Yes.
Where it's the two of them,
yes.
just a sketch of like a client badly or has like poorly times an interruption of his lawyer's final statement.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, Brennan Mulligan's the lawyer, and he's like, and this man, he's in it. Like the court would have you believe that he's a villain. And Zach just goes, yeah, I killed him. It's like, that would be the fallen on the stand. It's like,
Yeah,
these
literally,
people
I
were
did it.
just defending themselves, and they're like, yeah, and I raped a woman too. Like, whoa, hey,
Whoa!
No.
He did not kill this man. I killed him and his family.
I murdered
Exactly.
all of them. Jeez.
burned, pillaged, and raped, and not necessarily in that order.
Not in that order. Jeez,
Running
the
around,
freaking.
burning our
Yeah.
women and raping our church.
No,
Okay, we gotta
and
move
Bernard,
on.
to answer your question, this is all prior to us knowing they're going to bomb the portal. So this is all like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
prior to them becoming active
Obviously.
terrorist threats.
Yeah, no, obviously after their most latest stupid.
You
Yeah.
know, can we prove it in court of law? That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Oh, then they're fucked. Also, things in 6.7. Let's see. I have the best line, everyone was hurt and Kenzie was 11, which I still freaking love.
Yep.
It's so good.
And,
Poor Kenzie.
Yep.
and
I
then,
forget she's 11.
yeah, that's why she's not allowed
Golly.
outside.
Yeah.
And
in my
then-
head she's like 13, 14. But holy cracker jacks. Oof.
Speaking Kenzie, I just have, damn, you got Kenzie to swear, Chris.
Yeah, for real.
Probably in regard to the lookout joke.
Had more
She
more
has
banger.
Was it? No, it wasn't the lookout joke. She thought that was funny.
No, yeah. Oh, that's in 6.7, which we haven't.
Yeah.
Are we
quite
not in
gotten.
6.7?
Are we in
Is
6.8?
6.7 the bus conversation
Yeah,
when
they're on
Aaron
the
shows
bus.
up?
Okay, I'll be honest. I
They-
have almost no notes before 6.6, and
Awful,
6.6
yeah.
has one note, and then everything is 6.7 onward. Like, so I've just been like, are we
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
get
part
there.
that's interesting yet?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get there. 6.7, quick overview. Post-fight cooldown, Victoria relates to Rain. They debate releasing Cradle in exchange for Tattletale's help with the Crowleys. Discuss the different Fallen branches. Aaron visits briefly. The team has a fractious argument over the morality of killing. They decide to meet with the Undersiders, and Tattletale explains she underestimated the cluster's bloodlust.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I'm glad Aaron and Rain had some reconciliation after the whole child marriage thing.
That
exciting.
was that was awkward.
That was rough.
Yeah. I will say I did cringe internally when they're like, Aaron, do you want to stay? And Rain's like, yeah, you should stay. And Aaron's like, no, I'm gonna go. And they stay at the same time. And then it's just like this awkward silence of like, she's like, well, Bryce is injured, so I'm probably gonna go. Like, he's like, okay. Like,
Yeah,
man.
awkward.
Bro.
Can we just
I'm
be
sorry.
friends and forget about that whole thing? Just
I'm
never talk
so
about that ever
awful.
again?
Oh, I feel so
Gonna
bad
say
for
that.
him.
Sure.
That was like, oh gosh. Yeah, no. I mean, we talked about that when it happened, but literally like this is what he's wanted, but not at all how he wanted it. And now it's like worse because there's all that weirdness and history, and also she's probably like even more averse to the idea of like ever dating him after that trauma, and he's still in love with her. Like,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Bernard, to
Poor
answer your
kid.
question, we do all know Tattletale's power from
Worm.
Worm.
Yeah, from
But
Worm.
none of the characters in this nobody in
Yeah,
the
they
world
don't
has
know.
figured it out. So
Yeah, they get a few hints in this one that she does have limitations and
She
weaknesses.
tells them a
She
lot.
does. Yeah, she
She kind of shares quite a
shares.
bit with them. Yeah.
I was impressed.
I think
Very
Lixie
proud
got
of her.
under her skin.
I love it.
yeah,
Just a little
So
bit.
proud.
Yeah.
Friggin' hates
proud.
other people that have like widespread like I'll just call it like influence almost. Like Dragon probably is in her shit list.
Yeah.
Lipsy
Oh,
is
for
very much in
sure.
her
Oh, yeah.
shit list. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't like other people knowing things.
No,
Yep.
no, she doesn't. Although the potential of having Tattletale back on the team, not the team, but like what was so great about her being part of the Undersiders was that we were always in the know because she knew shit was going on. Like, we were always at the forefront of information because of Tattletale. And the idea of potentially having her or this group, well, whatever the fuck is happening, because I don't know what's happening, like having her back basically to give us information and keep us as the reader in the know. I really hope we get more of, because I really want to know.
Listen,
know
give
what
me
the fuck
my
is going on.
exposition cape, please. Just
Please,
let her sit down.
Tattletale, please.
She starts a bit here, or well, I guess probably 6.8 is when they really get into the conversation.
Yeah, 6.8 is when they're really talking.
Yeah.
Yep. We see the conversation a little bit about killing is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
kind of
is
going
this
back and
part?
forth.
Yeah, is this where? And listen, I love Sveta. Girl, you're great. You've got the purest heart. You are the glue. You hold everyone together. You're fantastic. But like, we got to have a sit down and understand that in fighting, people get hurt, and
Yeah.
you want to be part of a fighting hero team.
Yeah.
Stuff will happen, and like, I get the
Yeah.
hesitation. That's great. It's good to have the contrast there, but the whole time, I'm just like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably
I
not
mean,
great that Kenzie almost killed somebody, but she also took out Mama Mathers, who was threatening
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Go on.
yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
it's probably hard though because I mean it's either her or Damsel. So far as we know, at least, it's either her or Damsel who have the highest body count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Sveta's killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Sveta is
Yes.
implied. I
So
mean, he says, right, that she was.
I
I
mean,
think
it
it's more
dropped
like
her in Russia,
Yeah,
and she just
yeah,
kind of went hog wild for a bit.
yeah. Like
yeah.
that's her first.
And
Ugh.
yeah, that's one of her first memories, right? And so what I imagine is for her it's an act of restraint, right? Like if she lets go, it's an Iron Giant thing, right? Whereas like he has great power to kill everybody. So he has to be restrained.
Mhm.
Otherwise he would just go crazy and kill everybody. So with her it's not so much like um I I don't think it's that she doesn't understand people are going to get hurt. She just doesn't want other people to go down that path. And
Yeah,
maybe it's just a feeling of like maybe other people are like that too, where if they really let themselves go, they'll just go crazy like I did,
yeah,
and I don't want anybody to do that. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Which it's like I get the I've always hated that in Batman. Um, with his whole like I'm not gonna kill
Not
because it'll
kill.
just be the easy way out. I'm
Just
like,
gonna
okay,
maim them
cool,
for the rest of
whatever.
their life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in I don't like it on that end, but I do understand Sveta's thing is like with a lot of other stuff that they talk about is like it's always going to be something like, oh well, Kenzie had to do it because Mama Mathers was threatening, or like, oh, I had
Right.
to do it because of this. Like
Mhm.
you'll always find the excuse for the action, even if
Yeah.
it's very
Listen,
justified. Like there's always going to
Extra
be
because
that.
it's justified.
Yeah, extra because it's
Yeah.
justified.
one
But
thing
like,
leads to
Yeah.
another, and then you find yourself shooting a baby in the head. Like that's
right, exactly.
I will never
Um,
forgive Taylor for that.
So
Never. Ace
I'll never
Louise.
forgive her for only firing once. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
there we
yeah.
go.
First rule, double tap. You got
Yeah, come on.
Jacob,
I
I was
mean,
trying to come up with a last box in the bingo for tonight, and I couldn't think of a way to phrase Jacob has a zinger. And like,
I mean,
I mean,
Like,
if
there you
if
go.
it
Jacob
was
has a
there,
zinger
that's
is pretty good.
yeah. I guess that's just gonna be it from now on. It's just Jacob has his zinger.
There you go.
You got
I'm
your
good for one.
nahi gone.
It's because
I'm
Jacob's got the
Nah, he
didn't
gone.
pull
best
it.
one-liners.
She didn't
They're
shoot a
so
second
good.
time.
Yep.
Uh,
All right, 6.8.
Wait, we can't
Yeah.
skip my
Oh.
Chris quote of the chapter,
Oh yes,
Oh,
Chris
yes,
quoted
hit
the
us.
chapter for 6.7.
which maybe will just become a new my new running
A new
uh
Chris quote.
like Chris quote. So this was when they're making fun of, or well, Chris is making fun of Rain's lifestyle and upbringing in the Fallen.
mhm.
Chris leaned forward. Stay away from those jackass kids, Junior. They're up to no good. I hear one of them was crazy enough to trim his pubes with a weed whacker. Be back before 8 because we're decapitating a baby for the ritual tonight and we need you to hold it down. Like, just, Chris, what the hell, man?
No. You
Jesus,
gotta
dude,
read
he's
the line
already
that comes right
wounded.
after it. What
Oh, yeah.
Rain's response is, because Rain comes right back at him.
Yeah, the first part isn't all that wrong, Rain said.
Some guy trying to trim his pubes with a
Oh,
weed
what
whacker.
100%.
Oh my god. Look, here's the thing. I believe it because the Fallen are stupid children
Stupid.
with
I believe it
powers
because
and
I've met those people.
oh
Yeah.
Lord.
I've even worked with a couple. Um,
Oh, man.
uh,
I just thought,
Uh.
I'd start my campfire with a gallon of gas. We'd get that started real quick, and then
everything
next
blew up.
thing I knew, I didn't have eyebrows anymore.
yeah. Uh, before we move on, does anybody know, without looking it up, who the boy with the birds is.
That's Chicken
I mean,
Little.
they say his name.
Well, they say
I
his
do.
name.
They say his name
Say his
later.
name.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
do
he's
you,
the
do
kid.
you-
He's the kid who had the dreams about the whales, right?
There we
Yeah,
go.
okay. I
I
knew it
remember
had to
his
be
name.
one of
Oh.
the
He's
one
one
of
of
the
the
kids.
Was it
love
one of
sick
Forrest's
kids.
kids? One of
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of Forrest's kids? Okay, yeah. I call them Forrest kids like they're his, but we all know what I mean.
Yeah.
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 But
I thought
what's
they were one
interesting-
of Heartbreakers. Heartbreak? Wait, what's his name?
No.
What's Reed's-
It wasn't wasn't one of the Heartbroken.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was just one of
but
the kids.
have we talked about this is for exclusively you guys, chat, you be quiet about this. Have we talked about, did they mention what his power set was? Kind of.
They do talk.
Birds.
Yeah, they talk briefly about it here in
Yeah.
6.8. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
6.8.
what we know about, how powers work, and
Mhm.
talking about, he's technically probably a second generation cape. Like, not in a biological sense, but
Oh,
what?
like similar to Taylor is what you're saying? Because
yeah, guess where he was
there's
living.
a
hanging
quote
out with
there.
all
Yeah,
the
we're
time.
living
Yeah.
and hanging out with Taylor.
Okay, yes. Second generation cape, but not
Yeah.
biological.
Yeah,
Not biologically.
Yeah.
No.
yeah. But he
But
probably has
Tattletale,
an offshoot shard
Mhm.
of
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
from
Taylor.
Taylor
Yeah.
because of the control all the bugs thing. He's control all
Yeah.
the birds boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend, you are right. Chicken Little is briefly in Worm as a member of the Undersiders when Taylor comes back. They mention his
Yeah.
power at least. He's in Worm very
Taylor
briefly.
comes back.
After the time skip.
What?
After the time skip when Taylor in Worm, not Ward. In Worm, when Taylor comes back after the time skip, they briefly mention Chicken Little. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I don't not by
remember
name.
them. No,
not by
I don't
name,
remember
but,
him.
like they mention.
I think this is the first time we ever see him with powers. We just mentioned that one of the kids had dreams about worms, and
No, because
That
there's a
was
whole
it.
thing with him and birds in Worm. I knew about this.
yeah, but he doesn't
Yeah,
have
there's
the ability. It just says
Yeah.
that he just talks about it. Like,
Doesn't he carry around like a little dove or something in
In-
Worm?
maybe, but
I'm pretty
I
sure
like
because
he's
there's some
mentioned in
weird thing
Worm.
with him and birds in Worm. I'm almost sure.
I'm looking it
the
up.
only
I'll
thing
look it
the
up.
only reason I say that
Right.
the only reason I say that is because I knew about this character prior to reading Ward, but I
Yeah,
don't
same.
remember why. And
Yeah,
when he
same.
came up again, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this guy." I don't remember why, but I remember
Yes.
him.
So he
Yeah.
drew a
I
picture
didn't
about having
remember the
strange
Chicken Little name,
dreams
but
the night that Taylor's identity gets revealed. She finally comes back.
Maybe
and
I
then-
looked it up by accident.
I
and
did
then
Oh,
he
all that to say
drawing
though,
done.
Tattletale here does mention he reminds me of somebody, and Victoria's
Yeah.
like, "I get it."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I wanted to take him under my wing 'cause he reminds me of somebody, and she's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I get it."
yeah. Does not. There's no literally no
Nothing
mention
in
of
Worm?
powers
Okay,
or
okay.
anything. He is.
You know what
he's
probably
shown to
happened?
be there, and they talk about him like he clearly something happened.
You know
like
what I think
seeing
happened?
space
You know what I
whales,
think happened?
but yeah.
For me, now I'm thinking back on it, on my thought process. I think at some point, okay, 2 + 4 says Hannah's right. Tattletale says what
Thank you.
happened. Charlotte says birds. So,
That-
so there, I think
go.
what happened for me, because I did remember the name Chicken Little, I think I looked up the Undersiders on the Parahumans wiki, and he's in the list of members. And I was like,
Oh,
Chicken Little? Who's
That
Chicken
would-
Little?
That would make sense.
So
'Cause
that might be.
I knew about
That's
him,
part
but
of
I
it.
didn't know about the name. So
So you actually remembered from reading. I remembered from cheating. So it goes both ways.
Although let's all agree that Imp did have a better name than Chicken Little.
Oh, 100%.
What was the
Unkindness,
name?
yeah.
unkindness
Unkindness.
Yeah.
is infinitely
Unkindness
better.
So good. It
Oh,
upset me when
there are a
she
lot
said
of
it,
better
and
names.
everyone was like, "No, I don't get it," and I was like, "Heathens, bunch of
People,
heathens."
Yeah. Even like cockatrice would be better than Chicken Little.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You call him
Chicken
cock
Little's
for
not a
short.
good name.
Call
Call him cocky.
cocky. Mm.
Is he?
Also, you're 100% right. Interlude 26.
Yeah, he's in there. I was
Talking
just
about
There you go.
Ion
pushing
interlude.
pushing the birds and they go where I push or I pull and they fly from that spot. It's hard to do, but I could see what I could see what they see, but not while I'm controlling them.
Yeah, it took
And then talking about they was suspected he would trigger. He had nightmares basically the night of Gold Morning, I believe. Or is that?
Okay. Well, there
might
you
have
go.
to-
I'm not gonna lie.
Uh,
As someone who never remembers anything, I'm very proud of myself for remembering this.
Right. For the Wikipedia entry for Wormnesia. Good job.
Well done. Yeah. I don't know. Obviously they show Rain. They make a projection of Rain as he was injured, which I think is a bold
smart.
move.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Love
oh. And then Tattletale's like, somebody take the kids, get them out of here.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
Love it.
good times. Okay,
we
so
rolled into
6.8.
6.8? Yeah.
I think we're kind of rolling into 6.8. Let's go.
Yeah.
Team therapy and undersiders talk. Tattletale throws some shade at the team. Tattletale reveals her attempts to manipulate Rain's cluster. She wanted to help Cradle replicate Goddess. The undersiders force Tattletale to make amends. Hunt for the Fallen continues, and they ambush the Crowleys.
Oof. Some good stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love a good Tattletale shade session, just throwing like,
Oh yeah.
listen here, you little bitch, let me tell you about your life and why you suck.
Listen, I know infinitely
me,
more than
do
you,
me.
and you're really slowing me down.
Bro, that
Uh,
shit.
Poor Kinsey.
Yeah.
Kinsey's so longing for attention. She's like, but Tattletale, you didn't say anything bad about me. Tattletale's like, God damn it, child, sit down. She's like,
I
no,
love it, though.
please. Roast me,
do me,
Tattletale,
do me.
please.
It's funny.
So good. It's so good. She does roaster.
She
Oh, yeah.
does. And then Kinsey's like, yes, got it. Like, she's so proud of it. Got it.
No, okay. So a lot happens here. I would like some clarity on a few things that Tattletale says for any of you who might have picked up on things better than I did. So,
yes. Damn.
as you were saying, Nick, Tattletale
Yes.
wants Cradle because she thinks that Cradle can potentially replicate what Goddess did, who's a new name, right? We've never heard of Goddess before. Or did I just
We heard about
blank?
the lady in blue was mentioned previously.
Okay.
Very
as
brief.
implied. It's very brief because as implied by what Tattletale says here, and if you go back and look, she is one of the capes that Kepri picks up as she's going between Earths and universes picking up capes.
Yes.
And
Which
I
she
remember
mentioned,
this
right.
brief mention because she's like, comes to this Earth Shin, I think, and she's like, this cape is super powerful. I can use her. She's like the only cape in this world, or like controls everybody. I can use her influence. Like she's like one of the influential ones that is noted, and then apparently gets briefly dropped in this Earth, and then sent back to Earth Shin because she's really problematic. It's kind of the vibe I got.
I did like
Something
how
like that.
they describe how Tattletale describes Golden Morning there, where she's like picked up by an unknown. I forget how she refers to Scarab, but it was like an unknown force or entity or something like that brought her into
something
our
like
By
world.
a strange unnamed player who has since
Yeah.
been classified as a threat on par with any Endbringer.
That's great.
Which
Way to live on.
fuck yeah, there's our girl.
Yeah,
Anyway.
as Fran said, she was the cape from the universe where parahumans were in control, and she was the supreme leader of that Earth.
Okay, gotcha. So, scary. So, wants Cradle to try and replicate that by stealing all of basically the best versions of all of his cluster's powers. Because she wants, this is where I was confused. Is she wanting basically a Class S threat that she has under her wing for the inevitable interdimensional war that's coming? Or was there another reason that I missed? Or, I mean, if it's that simple, I'm not, that's fine. I'm just,
Yeah,
was like,
I think it's partly that, it's partly that she also said to Rain, like, I'm not trying to save you, but I do think that doing this would stop the kiss kill problem, because then
Mm.
all of the shards would be located in him and not,
Right.
there wouldn't be that fight. He would have everything.
Right.
I think also, she also implies like Goddess was in a really powerful cluster. It's
Mhm.
very possible that Cradle wouldn't be in such a powerful cluster. You guys aren't on that level at the same time, though. I mean, like, Cradle's already pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Giving him the best version of all of their powers would be pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I think that'd
I
be.
feel like you're onto something, though, Jacob. With
Yeah.
why it's that I want to have a potential Class S threat under my control, because shit's going to go down in this multiverse, and we need to have a few that I can
Yeah.
rely on.
Someone mentions it somewhere
That's
in
kind of
the
what it seems
chapter.
like.
Yeah, someone says, so you just want them for muscle or something like that. I forget what the quote is.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
and Tattletale kind of wishy-washies, but I think that's the
Yeah.
implication. Anyway, interesting, Tattletale.
Hmm.
I trust you implicitly, so I know you're right. But please tell me what your plan is, because I want to know.
Please tell me what it is. I need to
Yeah.
know.
Although I had to look it
And
up, it
then-
is Chris, not Kinsey, at least in this one instance I was thinking of, that got under Tattletale, because they're talking back and forth, and then Chris, because he's a cluster cape, Chris said, "You had a bad read," talking about when Tattletale sort of didn't really
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
how killy the kiss kill was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had a
Yeah.
bad read, prodding her, Tattletale. No, because then I would have had a capital N/capital A underlined for my think or read on him, prodding her, and it worked. It's like,
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
go, Chris.
Way to go. It was good.
Got her.
Yeah, we also see what is it? Basically that there are 3 big factions that Tattletale's a little worried about. So Goddess is taking back over her world. So that's a
Mhm.
potential existential threat they're dealing with. Cauldron has been split in 2. I do love this description. I'm going to try to find it again.
Yes, I know exactly what you're
yeah.
talking about.
The description of Teacher is like, I'm irritated,
yeah.
Tattletale said. I'm tired. We've got a lady in blue trying to get up to full strength again. A guy who wears fucking sweaters is pulling at the threads that are holding everything together while maintaining and expanding the institution side of Cauldron. A handful of others are running the ideological end of Cauldron. Both those groups are strong in their own way, and yet they aren't doing a tenth of what Cauldron used to do in forestalling disasters and containing the most unproductive messes in Cape. Yeah. So just that.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
guy who wears fucking sweaters.
Wears
that is Teacher.
sweater.
Yeah. Just
I hate that he's
continuing-
on
A
par.
sweater guy.
Yeah.
Sweater guy.
Just
makes me so mad.
continuing to establish that number one, Cauldron might have been right, was right the entire time, and way more effective than all this bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
they were
did,
not
like,
only the right
stop
people, but they were the right people.
Yeah. All I'm hearing from all of this is what's her name? Oh God, it's late and I'm drawing a blank. And I
Contessa?
hate this. Thank you, Contessa. It's like, Contessa, I hope you had a good vacation, because the world needs you back, girl.
Yeah.
We need you, babes.
We need a path to victory
Well,
here, please.
isn't she with she's with Teacher, right?
Is she with
Contessa?
Teacher? Contessa?
Oh, he did offer her a job, and she was
At the
like,
end of Worm.
Oh,
At the end of
"Nah."
Worm.
I don't think
Yeah.
it ever
Okay,
confirmed whether he was going with her or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Our two friends said that Citrine and Numberman talking
Yeah.
about our friends basically on indefinite vacation and
Yeah.
well deserved.
Yeah.
well deserved. And take rest up. That's fine. But
It's okay. They
But
only
we might need
dedicated
you
their
back for the
entire
robot
life
army.
to, saving the universe or saving the world,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they did it.
first,
world- Always. needs
most
you.
important path: rebuild a Taco Bell, obviously, and then once that's done,
Mhm.
path to victory.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just imagine Contessa on a beach using her power to like make the perfect cocktail, get the perfect tan. Like,
Yeah. The
Like we would all be
yeah.
using her power.
yeah,
Yep.
and then Numberman just steps through a portal and she's like, All right, fine.
She like takes a sip, and she's like, no, drink this. And he's like, she's like, I know. And then she like looks at him. She's like, fine. Like they don't even have to talk. Like they both know.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm retired.
Yeah.
Pull
I need to pull you out of retirement.
One last
One
Earth-saving
last.
mission.
Right. One
Yep.
last.
No, Tattletale also implies other things that are going on in the background. There's a war
Mhm.
starting sometime this week. That's exciting.
Yep.
A machine army that's literally on the horizon, if you can see between worlds. That's
Yep.
exciting. And then she's like, and yeah, the Fallen are a mess too. It's like, you know.
They seem so
oh,
small in
God.
comparison with
So much
everything else.
happening.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, and we kind of get that, right? We get that's the sense we get is because like Chevalier's like, listen, I can give you the C team for like 6 hours. Okay, that's all you can spare for the fucking Fallen,
Yeah.
right? Which to our heroes is the biggest thing on the docket.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's shit's about to go down, and
I
that's
love it.
scary.
ready. My body is ready.
I do really like how Tattletale is like mainlining evil, you know, for the team, and the rest of the Undersiders are just all about keeping her in check.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I was just looking at this where like there's a line where Tattletale says like, she's like, there's a lot of people who I don't deal with. It's really hard to tell who's safe and who's not. A lot of powers in play. You guys are like 60% safe. But then she says, which I wouldn't normally work with, but if I don't deal with you, then I might lose these guys, pointing to the Undersiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of this, and it feels like, especially people like Foil and Parian and Imp, and maybe even Rachel to an extent, are like, you know, like Tattletale, you kind of fucked up Rain. Like you kind of got to do something about that.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, because then at the end she does come around and she's like, all right, fine, I'll just tell you where they are. If you want to give me Cradle, great. Contact me later. Just sure.
I could really
Where-
use him, but
Yeah.
Like I just imagine they all see the image Tattletale's trying to be like stoic, like I did nothing wrong, and they just take her to side like Tattletale, come here. Like Lisa. God damn it, Lisa. Like, do you see that child?
do you see him? He does not look well.
Yeah,
Did you do that? Lisa.
Lisa, no.
Lisa,
You're
no.
tearing me apart, Lisa.
Excellent
Great.
use of the quote. Bravo. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. Eventually she's like, okay, fine, I'll just tell you where they are. If you want to give me Cradle later, that's great. They eventually find some of the Crowleys. This is where they run into. So the Crowleys are the Leviathan group, so they all have like cloning type abilities.
Yeah.
Kind of part of what they deal with. So they run into this guy who can send out like force field projections of himself. Also very similar to Sayer, but
Yeah,
you know,
it was very similar.
whatever. I don't know.
Is this are we in 6.9 or is
It's
this
still
the end of
6.8.
end of
6.8.
6.8?
technically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they at the end of 6.8, this is where she's like, hey, you should surrender to Mr. Crowley. And he's like, all right, fine.
Yes.
Let me watch what happens. And that's
she's like,
6.8.
huh?
And she's
In
like,
my-
okay, something's happening.
In my mind, the Crowley, head Crowley, whatever his name is there that they're fighting at the end. Crowley brother Prime or whatever.
Crowley
Jay.
Prime.
Probably something like
Jay.
Brett or something.
In my
Yeah, they all have
mind,
like normal names.
so the
Like
Crowley,
Brett
the
and
demon
Amanda.
from Supernatural, is played by the same actor who plays Badger in Firefly. And Badger in Firefly is who I'm imagining this guy as. Just like bowler hat, like suit, but
So
doesn't
good.
fit him well. And just
Yeah.
like an asshole. Like, I don't know. It's just in my mind. That's what
Nice.
these guys are.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
glad you brought that up because
Vince.
every time Crowley is mentioned, I also think of the guy from Supernatural, and then I forgot he was also in Firefly too. That's so good.
Yep. That's the
Yeah.
face of ass.
Nice. Yeah. I see that. Yeah, this is Vince Crowley and Sabrina is his partner.
Vince and
Oh, right.
Sabrina.
Partner,
Yep,
sister,
Vince and
both.
Sabrina.
Sister? Ooh, oh. Okay.
Well, they are a cult, so
They are,
They are that kind of
what
cult.
they say.
yeah.
Can we just like not have sister fucking for like one day, please?
Not in this universe.
Not in this family.
Yeah. keeping it in the family, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't like it.
Disgusting.
It's oh man. Never mind. It's not important. Not
Alright.
important. Thought
Good
left
call.
and it's not important.
You just
Good call.
leave it.
You know
Just
what? Good call. Yep.
push it
Move-
over
move
there.
Alan, did you get all your notes in for
Oh,
this chapter?
had to do with
Tattletale's such a deflecting little shit.
Mhm.
Stupid kids are stupid.
Yep.
Talking about Dr. Mother, and then
Yep.
Yep.
just gonna check. Yeah, I think we're all good to go to 6.9.
All right.
yeah.
Perfect.
All right, 6.9. I remember the thought. It had to do with the hero in My Hero Academia who was trying to create the perfect kid to be the perfect hero after him. So just keeping it in the family, trying to biologically create the perfect perfect fallen hero.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyways,
Perfect Crowley.
the perfect Crowley. 6.9. Something big is happening in Boston. Local heroes help out and drive Victoria nuts. The Crowleys expect to see the show on the horizon. Fallen have Tinker Tech at each portal. There's a fight to save Fenway Station, but the portal expanders slice and dice the city, and Miss Yamada's fate is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Bastards.
Vince and Sabrina were siblings.
Ugh.
Yes.
Damn it.
Wait, I think we knew that. It's whether or not.
Yeah, we knew they were siblings. We just don't know if they were
Whether or not they were
forking.
doing other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
They were forking and knifing in the silverware
Are
drawer.
they Lannisters, if you will?
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm gonna guess
the tall
yes, but
tower.
the
Yeah.
cult. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Everything goes down.
Yep.
All the shit.
For real.
Yep.
Yeah. It seems like they stop more than go off, but
Yeah.
plenty of them still go off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still like she didn't say all of them, but it sounded like there were around 15. Am I getting that number kind of close to right? Maybe Alan? I feel like Alan would maybe know.
You say 15 portals?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it more or
shoot.
less? Am I?
For some reason, the number 30 is in my head, but that's
Holy
probably too many.
fork.
Chat, how many portals are there?
Yeah. Someone find out in chat and let us know.
Just need a
Yeah, I mean,
number.
there's a lot, and yeah, I mean, it looks like they only hit a few, but
I mean,
one
it
is
looks like they hit a lot and only a few actually exploded.
well, yeah, right. Sorry, I think they targeted like all of them.
I think they did target all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to target all of them. Because you can kind of see it's more green than red, where it's it doesn't say how many there are though. It just says like green, red, green, red. And then they're all like silently texting their people like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" We don't know who made the Tinker Tech yet, Bernard. We are not aware of that. It's not mentioned.
No, we don't know anything about it just yet.
Yeah, and
No,
thank
I don't
God
think
for
so.
Crystal Clear.
Yeah, Crystal Clear is okay.
Yeah, Crystal Clear's
His group
fine.
succeeded. Thanks, Crystal Clear. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was worried about Weld for a second.
Probably with Ratcatcher's help. Probably with Ratcatcher's
I got real
help.
worried about Weld there because it was
Weld
just
is
taking
good.
way too long.
Yeah, Weld is good. We hear from I love Crystal's okay, her team's helping. Mom is okay.
Mhm.
She told me Amy was okay and I let her.
Yeah.
Did I ask about Amy?
Yeah. Her dad's fine. Gilpatrick, Jasper, Ashley, and Rain are okay.
Yeah, they're all okay.
Pretty much everybody we care about except for the one we care the most about, Fume Hood.
I cried.
I
cried.
Right?
I literally was standing in the middle of
about Fume Hood.
Here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was like, we need to have another person who's killed a child.
I said Fume Hood, and you went right into I cried and like missed what I said. So I had.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, no.
No, about Miss Yamada.
Oh yeah. No, I stood in the middle of the floor and I just kind of bawled for a little bit because I was like waiting for us to like confirm or deny, and then it was just like, well, we just don't know. And like,
It's funny because on the one hand, brilliant because we've talked all the, like for weeks now. We've been saying like, man, they're really setting up for like one of our like group here to die or get it or something
yeah,
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, then he goes after Yamada, which I think was just brilliant writing. On the other hand,
Dirty stem.
while I did have like a little audible like, oh no, like great writing, it got me. I was thinking, as he's going through the list, I would have been way more upset with uh Weld or
Weld.
like
Yeah.
anybody else in that group that was like going off.
Yeah.
With the exception of
Weld would've.
Victoria's mom would have been fine, but
Yeah.
We all would
yeah.
have been happy
If
for it.
Amy ended up, caught in the blast, what would be your dance like? Out of, would it be like a?
It'd be just like a
Victoria would have danced.
See, for me,
Yeah,
for me, it would be
You know,
it just be the the scene. It's like at the end of Gladiator where the guy like drops some, buries the little figurine, and he's like, now we are free.
No.
finally.
And Enya plays.
I do. Yeah, it's just I feel like this was the easier answer in terms of, and again, fate unknown. We'll find out. But in terms of that,
Yeah.
same with Rain being like, I thought there was a chance reading this arc that they got him, that he
Yeah.
was dead.
I
I
thought he was about to eat it.
and again, the same thing. I was like, man, that's sad, but like, that's the safe answer, right? He was,
Yeah.
kind of
he
an
had
evil
a-
bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, that initial scene where she describes Sveta holding what's left of Rain, and you see Cradle
Yeah.
and a man with cleavers, and
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he got no arms and legs, does he?
Yeah,
They
he
gone.
did.
they got him.
He
He's
killed
just
your
like a
brother.
stub of a body, like just like a
Mhm.
stub of a
Yeah.
body. But no, he's a
Well,
crook.
she
He made it out
describes
right.
like ribbons of skin hanging off of him.
Well,
and
it's
his
not until like the
face
next
kinda
arc where she
being open.
describes his injuries.
Yeah.
It's not until the
Mhm.
next. So it's like at that end of
Well,
that arc, she's like,
right, it's
Sveta's holding
later,
what's left
but
of Rain, and I'm like, oh, he dead.
Yep.
Oh, he gone.
well,
I'm
at one point
curious.
he's not breathing either. Like,
Oh yeah, no, he
I
they
just
got him.
assumed that was the end of him, which valid.
I died. I got better.
I got better.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where the story goes. A good unknown for our
Good cliffhanger.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
It's got me prepped. This is the first time where so far in Ward where I was like, I can't wait to read the next arc. Let's go.
yeah, I'm
I had to
very
restrain myself
100%
from listening to the next chapter.
very into it. I have been saving the last couple chapters for like Tuesday mornings. That's when I read it this morning, and I think I'm going to keep that.
I listened to
so
them all
that I
yesterday and today. Partially
can go
because
right into it.
procrastination and partially because it's kind of fun to like binge it right before podcasting.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
also is helpful with the memory.
Fresh
It
in the
is.
noggin. Yep.
I had to click back and forth a couple of times to make sure there wasn't an interlude I missed, because I was like, it goes straight from 6.9 to 7.1, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. I will
didn't
say
know.
I liked that there wasn't an interlude with this because it
Yeah.
doesn't
Pacing felt
take
right.
away from the tension at the end of the arc. It
Yep.
just is gonna go right into the next one, which
I do agree.
I think is a good move.
I do have to get to my Chris line of the chapter,
Yes.
We love it.
Give it
or
to me.
rather, lack of a line. Giving orders over the phone, over their walkie-talkies or whatever, going Capricorn good, looks good. I'll head there. Da da da. Chris, there was a wet sound over the phone. I think he ate the phone. Looksy said. I hope he uneats it before he changes back, or he's gonna need either surgery or a slot-shaped butthole.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good. Whatever form Chris took was just like, well, eat the phone. Oh, Chris is my favorite character.
Oh, it's fantastic.
We have fun here.
We do. And
That's
we
what it
have
is.
fun here.
Yep. So, yeah, what Yeah, Fran mentioned, thank God Chris gave him that thing to save him, whatever it was. 2+4, you're right. It was a coagulant, is what was named.
Right.
Yes, the coagulant.
Which is a
Gonna skip over
coagulant,
that.
which basically is meant to stop up your blood to make you stop bleeding very quickly.
Yeah.
We did skip over that, but yeah, just to
We did.
quickly go back to that because we mentioned
please.
that Chris has talked about how he was like fell apart the first time.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
he's got a full body repair kit on him.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ready to go.
Which I just gotta say, coagulation, great map in Halo 2.
Oh my god. Just
Yep. It's one of the classics.
not wrong. But still.
I'm upset that it has taken us too long to bring up the Super Magic Dream Parade.
Oh, yeah. The capes that were the colorful ones.
Oh my god. Oh, the colorful
We
ones from
forgot
6.8.
about
Yeah.
them.
Oh my
You
god.
mean Magic Knight Crash,
The rainbow
Mystic Magic
capes.
Impaler,
Oh.
and Dynamite Warrior Dash Fantastic?
Yes.
Oh,
I
Okay,
did
Dynamite
forget.
Warrior Dash Fantastic. I hate it, but I love
Fantastic.
it so much. It's
It's
so
awesome.
cool.
I have a feeling did we just get like 8 bingos in chat? Was that what everyone was waiting for? I'm like
No.
I feel like that's one of
I
those
still
things.
haven't had
before.
any bingos yet.
I know. That's what I keep thinking about the bingo. I'm
I've
like,
been
we haven't
sitting
had
on
one
a
yet.
bingo, but I'm
We're
surprised
missing.
nobody else has. We are
We're-
about 50% on the bingo sheet.
Man, we missed
Wow.
a bunch here.
I missed a
So
lot.
that's why I was thinking.
I'll take better
Yeah, no,
notes
they
next
they
time.
were great. We did go right by them, but easily best named group of the entire universe.
So cool.
Well done.
So
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
And all the colors and like
Yeah.
their capes, their costumes, I mean, are like built for the aesthetic, not for the practicality. Like
Of course.
Oh,
she
not
like
at all.
Victoria has thought about like practicality and also like the cool factor and like whatever, but she's also thinking about like what's gonna protect her in a fight, what's gonna like keep her secret identity by having like a darker hood or whatever. And they're just like, ha ha ha. Colorful again. I love
Oh
it
my god.
so
And
much. And it's
they've
like,
got so much of the anime ass tropes, right? Like Magic Knight
yes.
Crash has 4 belts, not including straps at his arm and thigh. And I'm like,
Love
that's
it.
such an anime thing of just like
Yeah.
useless belts everywhere.
I love it.
Also, one of the girls, she's got a crop top, but it's an armored crop top, and then she's got like nothing covering her midsection. And Victoria's just like, what's the point of the armor? Like, this is useless. Which I'm like,
Looks like
listen,
we
I'm
just got
here
our
for it.
first bingo.
Hey, there we go.
Ah,
Hey,
Praise
there you
the
go.
Magic
reminded me.
Trio, talking about Rain getting friend zoned, praise the camera drop, and calling out Tattletale for being a shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
There we
mean,
go.
technically,
Very nice.
you called out Tattletale for being a shit.
I'll
Tattletale
take
is
it.
perfection.
Tattletale's a shit.
Yep.
I mean, we would have
Yeah,
gotten
she
it.
is.
That's a
She's a
free-
deflecting
I
shit
I
at
love
that.
her. I love her.
Free space.
I will take no notes. On
Yeah.
her.
Do we hear their actual team name in here? What is this team's name? This trio?
The three of
This is
them.
Super Magic Dream Parade.
Magic Dream Parade, is that their actual name?
Super Magic Dream Parade. Yep.
Super Magic
Super
Dream
Magic
Parade.
Dream
Super
Parade.
Magic Dream
Goddamn.
Parade.
What's
Yeah.
the one? Isn't there a band that's got something about not exploding kittens, but there's like
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
yeah, it's
With
giving
their-
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
It really is.
It is.
Although Rainbow Kitten Surprise is way more chill than Super Magic Dream Parade.
Super Magic Dream Parade assemble!
I hear
I feel like
Rainbow
they
Kitten
have-
Surprise. I assume the music is essentially Nyan Cat, like just
Mhm.
on an electric guitar. And instead it's acoustic.
Yep.
I assume that the Super Magic Dream Parade have the like magical girl transformation music when they
Oh,
like get
hell
up and
yeah.
suit up into character. Like there's a whole thing, like everything else stops so they can be like assemble, shoo, and they all touch their gems on their necklaces, and then they like yeah.
Yep. 100%.
So there's a wild bow explanation for it too, which is that that they are going into a breaker state and that they become invulnerable during the transformation process into the breaker state, which is how they're able to maintain their normal persona and then instantly become like costumed out, without
Nice.
having to take damage because they're just invulnerable during that period.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
I made that up. I have no fucking clue.
Oh my gosh! I was
Okay,
like,
all
I
right.
like
That's
it.
just like that's. I was
Gotta
saying it's
fool
like my
me. Gotta
my
fool
wild
me.
bow explanation.
That's your wild bow
Oh.
explanation.
Also,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got we got a double bingo right
Two
now.
bingos.
Ooh.
Two
Nice.
Good
bingos.
job.
Also, the first one, bingo from Wonderland. Second one, bingo from Waldo. Here we go. We got calling out Tattletale for being a ship. Jacob compares something to a movie. People know who the bird boy is. Praise for the camera drop. Morning Yamada. Hannah cries. I don't know if I count that one. Hannah didn't cry. I should. You know what? I'll
She
give it to you
mentioned
this
it.
time, but next time Hannah
Oh.
has to cry on screen. I'll make
On
sure that I
screen.
put that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I teared up earlier. I tried to cover it up though, because
Okay.
She
Well,
always
you gotta let
grabs
it flow so they can get the box next time.
She always grabs her hat when she's trying to hide it. She's like,
Michael.
and then she
Uh,
stretches a little bit.
Michael!
Wow, called
I was gonna say
out.
I always lean back because I don't want
Yeah,
you guys to see
yeah,
how red
she
my
leans
eyes
back
get.
and
then
grabs her head.
I'll like
Yeah,
put my hat down.
Yeah.
And I usually do this motion. God damn
Yeah,
it, Michael!
the hands
Wow!
in the head.
Nailed it!
So
Holy
observant,
shit!
Michael. Well done. Well done.
That's all I
and
do
finally,
the whole
praise
He's
time.
just like waiting for me to
Trio.
cry on camera so he can monetize it.
And lastly, the Alan non sequitur.
Alan.
Yes, yes, very good.
Yes.
Very good. I will
These are-
say, for this trio, of their names, the word impaler does it feels a little like it reminded me of I don't know if you guys know Shin Comics, but he has this one where it's like this villain is like, "You'll never stop me, super dorks," and one of them's like, "That's where you're wrong, evil duo. We'll stop you with the powers of friendship, harmony, incredible violence, and love." It's like they have the member incredible violence, and it feels
Nice.
like
Hell
that where
yeah.
it's like, Magic
Yeah.
Knight Crash, Dynamite Warrior Dash Fantastic, and Mystic Magic Impaler. It's like, whoa, hang on.
Mystic Magic Impaler.
Impaler.
Oh.
Going back to the bingo, this is
Oh.
how I know that some of you weren't around for the beginning of the stream, because as soon as the stream started, there was a cat right here crawling up and down. So
I didn't
I know
even
some of
see it.
y'all weren't
I was
there at the
here
beginning.
and I didn't
There you
even
go.
see it.
Mm-hmm.
I look for that
So
shit.
otherwise,
forgetting
y'all
it.
would have gotten a couple of another bingo. But as it stands, Waldo has yet a third bingo. Talking
Oh.
about Rain getting friend zoned. People know the bird boy is. Hanny cries, and look how far bitch has come.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
We
Perfect.
do love bitch.
Very good.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Perfect place to
All
wrap it
right,
up.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Let's
we're at the
wrap
end
it up.
here.
Let's
Do we wanna
go
favorite capes it?
predictions. I was gonna say let's do predictions to start. With
Gosh.
Yamada gone and the portals,
Hold on.
exploded
Unconfirmed.
through.
Unconfirmed.
I'm sorry,
Please.
allegedly.
Nah, listen.
Please.
Yamada triggered.
My heart.
She's fine.
Not dead
Yeah,
yet.
I'm gonna trick.
Yeah, she's fine.
I
She's fine.
feel
Yamada triggered.
better.
Yamada
She's
She's
in
triggered.
all
now.
of us.
She, like,
She's a super
She's-
it's
female.
like a broken
just
trigger. So
God
now
now.
she's just a field of therapy that like everybody within that area suddenly feels better
She
and like
is
they can
the
work through their
heart of
problems.
therapy. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I nothing happened to Yamada yet. Until I know
Okay.
for certain it's not true.
I have a real
Oh.
prediction.
Yes. Hit
So,
me.
we know that there's been a war brewing between Earth Sea, because I can't remember the word for it, with the religious superheroes who run that world, right? It's been mentioned it's a theocratic Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They're a theocratic core there. The Fallen have just opened portals all
Mhm.
throughout the city. What do the Fallen and that group have in common?
Right.
They're both
Oh.
theocratic cultic groups. I think there's potential that the Fallen have connected with this group on this other Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and the Fallen were compelled into opening these portals to start the war. I think that
Compelled?
Interesting.
compelled, like, in the sense of, like, we're allies. Like, we're gonna
Okay,
help
okay.
you take over this Earth. Not like we're forcing you to, basically.
Right.
But yeah, like
okay.
we're allies. We're gonna work together. Like we're gonna make this world a better place for God. Like we're gonna bring God's kingdom to this sinful city. You know, kind of thing.
Mhm.
See, that's Earthsea saying that, like, we'll bring justice to God's the sinful city. And the Fallen are just like, hell yeah, brother. You know?
Hell yeah, brother.
And then they whinny
I don't like
horses.
the use of that word, but
Hey,
you know what?
Winnie.
Hell yeah,
Hey,
brother.
Winnie.
Yeah, brother.
Exactly, Michael.
God damn.
So that's one of my predictions, is that this is a setup for that Earth to invade this city.
That's
And
good.
that the Fallen are
Okay.
working with them.
I like it.
Basically.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's my big prediction.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah. I think you're onto something for sure. I don't know how to predict a war. So I will simply say it does the machine army, because the machine army is the one we've actually gotten a bit of taste of with the interlude with what's his name? No bugs. Little pet thing.
Dot.
With Dot.
Yeah.
Dot.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sweet baby Dot.
Feels like the machine army feels like our like White Walkers in this story, where
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
just the pending apocalypse that's coming,
Right.
and nothing can stop it type of thing. So I'm curious to see if that
Yeah.
plays out at all. Be interesting. But in the short term, I like that idea of the Fallen working with another Earth. Very interesting. And I'm on
Also,
team Yamada's head.
Yeah. We have
You're on
two
Team
more.
Yamada's dead. Is that what
Nahigon.
you said?
Yeah. Not sure.
We have two more bingos
Yamada.
from
Oh.
Wonderland.
Whoa.
We've got
They all happen at the end.
calling out Tattletale for being a shit, mourning Yamada, Fisted called out for being horny, Jacob compares something to be a movie, and then the praise for the Magic Trio, Mama Mathers is scary, boy, people know who the Bird Boy is, and Jacob compares something to a movie.
Okay. All right.
Very nice. Very nice.
enough.
For some reason, I just want this, I think. I'm hoping that Dragon and or Defiant make an appearance in the next arc.
I'd love
that
it.
would be
why.
so fun.
I don't know why, but I feel like we're due for that for some reason. Like
I mean,
need
we
them to make an
know
appearance.
they're.
I deserve
they're
this.
up and
Yeah.
back. We they got to be working with. I mean, we know
And
Chevalier's
to your
working
point,
around.
Jacob. Yeah, to your point, Jacob. If anyone could stop the Machine Army, we know who it is.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Bring them back. Come on. Yeah.
Ooh, unless. What if the
Don't say
Machine Army's being run by one of Dragon's siblings?
Ooh, never mind. I like it. I'm back in.
Manhunter, or I'm trying to remember any of the
Yeah.
others.
Ooh, that would be
Robinson,
cool.
James,
Thought it was. Yeah.
a little.
Even
Speaking of
more
sibling
recent.
action, sibling on sibling action, you know.
Yeah.
What
if
that's
Dragon-
what we all want.
What if? Oh, wait, what are you suggesting that Dragon and all of her AI siblings were a kiss kill trigger?
Oh,
oh.
well, I was
Hot
gonna say,
dog.
I don't think they
Cluster
all
trigger.
triggered, but there might be a second one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we
Yeah.
know that the technically, Dragon and Pandora went head to head.
Right.
Yeah.
And they fused, kind of, right? Made new dragon,
Yeah.
kind of.
Sort
Yes.
of ish.
Yes.
Left up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, left to interpretation. Bernard asks, any updates on which character is the most worrisome and whether Rain or Ashley would be convicted for murder? I feel like both, again, given the circumstances, I feel like both could get off.
Yeah, they're not getting convicted.
Yeah, solely for the issue is more going to be like, are they now so good-hearted they turn themselves in? Like that's where they seem like they're wanting to go. But I don't think a conviction is going to happen because I think a bunch of portals just blew up in the city and they've got bigger fish to fry. Like I think any sort of conviction or jail time is going to happen way later down the road.
Yeah, yeah, not exactly at the forefront.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do think Kenzie's still, I think, probably top of the list for biggest problem of the group, but we'll see. We need that dinner with robot parents.
Yeah,
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say that I think Victoria might be. Reason why
I do like
is
that.
I think she's getting pretty close to cracking. I feel like she's talked a lot about all the stress she's carrying,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I think that each of the other people have their own issues, but Victoria's trying to take on all the weight of everybody and trying to help
Mhm.
everybody. I feel like she
She gonna wretch someone.
might be close to cracking. She might wretch
Ooh.
somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
coming.
that's a good thought. She also in this arc and the arc previously, she's had a couple times when like her own emotions just kind of like rage out and she kind of like sees red for
Yeah,
a
she's had a
second.
couple Hulk smash moments.
She's had a couple Hulk smash moments where I've been surprised at the amount of like so much so of that like emotional switch that I've wondered if she's been she's being manipulated by somebody else. And then like the story keeps going. I'm like, oh, I guess she wasn't. She was just feeling things. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it makes me a little worried. I'm still Kenzie's still kind of top of the list, but Chris is
Yeah.
right. I think Chris and Kenzie might be tied in my head right now as for who might be the biggest problem. Chris, just because he's such a big question mark. Like there's so many things we just
Mhm.
don't know. But Kenzie, because we still know so much and it's still problematic. Like
Yeah.
you said, I'm looking forward to the dinner because I think that's gonna
Oh
add
yeah.
some more
sure.
light, you know.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right,
Very cool.
before we head out, then, favorite powers, real quick.
Ooh, man,
Those are some good ones.
there's some good ones. Sarah is probably the most. Sarah, and I'll give an honorable mention to the lizard girl as well with the teleportation clone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that was
Sarah is definitely the cool one of like shadow clones, shadows running around everywhere, switching places with them at the last second. Like that's pretty cool. And also just Operator Red. I don't know. Operator Red is
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I don't
Combat thinker.
he doesn't do
Kinda cool.
much, but he's just a combat thinker good with knives, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I think he's really cool. The guy the Crowley dude, I can't remember his
Mm.
name.
Vince.
Vince.
Vince, thank you, Vince. Vince's whole thing with the he made like 100 floating pieces of rubble and mailbox and glass and whatever, and they're kind of all whatever until they overlap, and then the cross section of the shadow things overlapping becomes super solid. I think that's really cool,
Mm.
like being able to utilize that in cool ways, and like it's not a big deal until they start all clumping together and then we have a
Mhm.
problem. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I really liked the and I can't remember the fallen girl's name towards the end, but who sort of had like
Sabrina.
was it Sabrina who has the wave of
Yeah.
is that Sabrina? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's the
the like
sister.
gravity wave that she can select who's affected, but if you're affected, it's a bet
Yeah.
you can swim around, like fly around in her bubble.
Yeah, it felt
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
like being in water. Like when you like
Yeah.
jump and you get to
Yeah.
But I got the
float.
sense that you were way more maneuverable because they mentioned like she's like like dashing around and everything like that. So it's like you can
Mhm.
fly in this little bubble, which is kind of cool. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
I
not
mean
still
honorable
a little
mention.
bubble. It's like 100 foot,
No, yeah, it'd say it's like it fills the
It's a
whole
big old
room.
bubble.
Yeah,
and it like
totally.
pushes out. It like
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
a wave, doesn't it? So you can like as
Yeah,
long as you're riding the
You
wave,
can
you
ride the
essentially
wave,
get
yeah.
a
yeah,
flying ability until it dissipates.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fun,
That was
very
cool.
fun power. Cradle gets an honorable mention. We knew a bit about him before this, but got to see him in action finally. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine goes to the old switcheroo. I really like that stone power.
that's fun.
Was fun. Yeah. All right. Well, with that all
Mhm.
done, it is time to end this. We will be reading arc 7.1 to 7.5. All right.
Mm.
Gotcha.
So first half, it is a little bit longer again, so we'll break this one up. We'll be reading 7.1 to 7.5. So the first half of arc 7.
Just as
And
a
we
point of
will.
order, Alan, all-knowing ward master. So
Yes, that is
on
me.
the table of contents, it's 7.1 through 7.4, and then there's a split for a bunch of interlude
Oh,
arcs.
you're right. There
And
is.
then
There
it goes to
is.
7.5 to
And
the
how
rest.
many is a
yeah.
bunch of interludes?
Of
It's like 8.
8
Yeah.
interludes?
You know
Yeah.
what? You know
Gee.
what? Let's do
Okay.
to 7.4 then.
Okay.
We'll do that. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I was looking at the wiki for this when I was splitting it up, not the word count, which I should have been doing. So we'll split it up, and that should be only around 20. Is that only around 20,000? Yeah, we'll make it a light week, and then the next two will be a little heavier.
A little
I say
thicker.
heavier. They're like 52,000 and like
Yeah,
60,000. So,
that's fine.
but this will be our light week. Then we'll just read the
Nice.
4, and we'll come back on what
The
day?
22nd.
22nd.
In 2 weeks.
22nd, baby.
All
2
right.
weeks.
And
Sounds
and
good.
if we do anything in between, we'll let you know, patrons.
That's right.
Yep.
Keep an eye out.
Beforehand. So, but
Indeed.
thank you so much for hanging out with us, listening to us talk about this, and all the comments you've been giving us. They were really helpful.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we've gotten to a good rhythm, and we really appreciate y'all being here. As always, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Some of you sooner. We're glad you could all make it. And with that, Michael, do you have a song for us?
Join the Patreon, please come on and join the Patreon. Why don't you just join the Patreon? Come support us and join the Patreon. Please help us and join the Patreon. We have fun, join the Patreon. It's great, yeah, join the Patreon. Why don't you just join the Patreon? Come on.
Sometimes, just for fun, I'll cancel my Patreon subscription, just so I can have the pleasure of signing up once again. Yeah.
All right.
And
Delightful.
good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you the
Kinky.
22nd.
Bye, y'all.